welcome on back to Crusher Stadium in Avon, Ohio. The rain has subsided, and we are just moments away from re-beginning action between Bowling Green and Toledo. We will pick up action in the third inning after we completed 2 innings about 6-7 hours ago before we had a major rain delay that lasted for much longer than I think most of us had anticipated. So we are finally about ready to get back underway with these two teams in this first-round matchup in the MAC tournament. Tyler Kamlitz alongside Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network. And Chaz, it's been quite a long wait, and I think both these teams are ready to go back to battle.
Yeah, Tyler, we've had a lot of change in this past 7-hour rain delay. First off, I do want to say we'd be in the second round right now if these rain delays did not happen.
I think I put out a post on my social media account that we would be in the fourth game of the tournament. But now, I look at the time, based on the original bracket, we're about an hour out from when the fifth game of the tournament was scheduled to take place. And here we are in Avon completing 11 innings of baseball.
It's absolutely insane. And I don't want to talk about it that much. That was for the 2-hour block that we had.
Yeah.
The 2-inning block to just complain. Right now, both teams are freshly changed. Yep. They're in new uniforms. So you got to assume they showered, got all unsoaked just to get soaked again, as it is a light drizzle now. It's nowhere near as bad as it was. But for Bowling Green, we talked about this. We have a little bit of a disagreement on this. You said essentially Bowling Green starts these next 7 innings with a 2-run disadvantage. 2-0 is the score, right? I don't disagree with you, but I do think if you look at the box score that Bowling Green did get some things going. I think Toledo got more momentum just because of the fact that they recorded more than just a singular hit. Bowling Green did not. They just had 1 hit in the game. But the rest were walks by Bowling Green that they gave up. Bowling Green players were actually getting plunked rather frequently.
Yeah.
They got hit several times, and I think at the end of the day, that does kind of make you think a little bit. Maybe makes you a little upset that when your pitcher goes out there, he walks guys. When their pitcher goes out there, he ends up hitting you with the baseball. So there's a couple of changes, and the fact that Toledo did lose one of their better pitchers to this rain delay.
Yeah, and they did, and Scariotis, along with Bergman, which, there's a chance we could see either of them back. We could see Scariotis back on the mound. It wouldn't be the most shocking thing. There is an arm warming up in the bullpen if you want to try to get a number out there. But, yeah, to recap those first 2 innings of action, like you said, 16 runs between the two teams, only 4 hits. You had combined between the 3 pitchers, you had 12 walks, along with you had 6 hit by pitches to go along with 8 wild pitches. So a nightmare pitching battle in those first 2 innings, solely based on the conditions. You have Bergman and Turner, 2 guys that don't throw many balls, and they were all over the place. But we'll see how things shape up here. It'll be Nate Kress on the mound for Bowling Green to begin things. And do you have a number for Toledo of who's going to start for the Rockets?
Yeah, Tyler, for Toledo, it's going to be number 27, Nathan Leininger, the junior righty. Leininger is one of those players for Bowling Green. We've heard his name. I believe we heard it in the series, if I just date back here for a quick second. And you look at the pitching staff for Toledo, they are just able to dig deep into their bag. And we did see Leininger go up for Toledo in the 5th-3rd field game. He was one of the pitchers for them. And in that game, Leininger was a pretty fairly solid relief guy for the Rockets. He ended up going 2 total innings, allowing just a singular hit, did not let up a run. He gave up a walk, didn't record a strikeout, but in contrary to who we saw today, he did not throw a wild pitch.
Yeah.
Toledo, they struggled mightily with the wild pitches, and now we're going to have a meeting at home plate as it looks like we're going to get things underway here.
Yeah, Rob Reinstedel and Kyle Halleck, the head coaches for both these teams, going to meet at home plate and discuss a few things. Outfit changes for both these teams, as you mentioned. Bowling Green in the all-whites, orange caps, and Toledo in their baby blue tops and their white pants.
Let me mention, by the way, I love this uniform matchup.
Oh, I think it's fantastic.
I almost said last game. The first 2 innings of the game, Toledo had the dark tops with the white pants, and the Falcons wore their all oranges and what is their stereotypical big game uniform. I really like what both teams have going on, just to be a little bit of a uniform snub for just a second, because the baby blues and the all whites really do blend together very well. The only change I'd make is break out some baby blue pants. Try your best Kent State impression.
Ooh.
And rock the all baby blues versus the all whites. I think that would look great.
And, I'm thinking, is Bowling Green going to have hesitation to go back to those all oranges the rest of this tournament with the bad luck that brought with that? Is that going to be in the back of their minds?
Was it bad luck? They scored 7 runs.
I know, but you gave up 9 inning and the rain delay coming with it. Maybe they'll be viewed as the rain uniforms the rest of the tournament.
And I will say this. I don't view this at all as the fault of Logan Bell or Jacob Turner, excuse me, not Logan Bell.
I was going to say Logan Bell.
I don't view it at all as the fault of Jacob Turner. Maybe you just have him wear a different uniform because, he was the one giving up the walks because of the rain. Again, not his fault entirely. I think the Oranges, they have too much history this season for them to just completely abandon. It'll be fun to see. And one that the Falcons still have that we rarely see them wear is the all grays.
Yeah, they do, the red grays. Those are my personal favorites. But to get you back up to the date again, 9-7, Toledo leads. We're going to go to the top of the third here. A reminder for the defensive positioning for Bowling Green. It's Coop McKenzie behind the plate, Brady Birchmeyer at first, Sam Seidel on second, Gunnar Antillion at short, Garrett Sloan on third, and outfield left to right, Caden Parker, Garrett Wright, Zach Corky. Now Nate Kress on the mound for Bowling Green, and we will have the same batting order for both these teams. For Toledo, it's Caleb Herbert, Caden Konzak, Troy Sudbrook, Charlie Shulvin, Cole Cahill, Luke Lido, Trey Mariano, Luke Walton, and Braden White. We will begin with Konzak, Sudbrook, Shulvin to start things in the top of the third.
And Tyler, this is a little bit more of a broader thing that I do want to talk about for just a second as we start to get back into the swing of this game. I do really feel for all the teams in this MAC tournament in different ways.
It's a nightmare.
You've got Eastern Michigan, who was supposed to play at, 2 o'clock was it, or noon or something like that, around that slate originally?
I believe it would have been noon with a 9 a.m. start time. It would have been around noon, maybe 1 o'clock.
They now have to wait to play. They don't even know their opponent.
No.
And they will know their opponent last second.
And now they have a night game. Completely shifts your sleep mindset. They went to bed thinking, okay, we're going to play early in the day, and now you had to find nap time because you're going to be playing late at night.
And now, so that's Eastern Michigan. Ball State, Kent State, that's a game that Ball State starts to get the edge a little bit because Kent haven't played in much longer.
Yeah, and we should mention before this first pitch is thrown by Nate Kress that those games are going to take place tomorrow. So the winner of this game will no longer play today as Nate Kress's pitch misses the outside. We are officially back underway at 4:59. First pitch of this game was originally 9:09 a.m. It is now 4:59 p.m. This one flown left field but foul by Konzak.
Just to finish off my point, Miami as well. You're the number 1 seed in the tournament, and now you go from playing today to playing tomorrow, and you lose more time, and you're going to go up against a team in either Toledo or Bowling Green that are going to be fresh off their game.
Yeah.
Because they get a night to rest, and they get a day to warm up themselves.
Yeah, it's tough for every team involved in this, simply put. So 2-2 count on Caden Konzak. The next pitch is dribbled up the middle to Gunnar Antillion at short. He fields it, throws the first for the first out of the inning. So Konzak remains hitless in today's game. Strikeout, a ground out, and a walk for Konzak brings up Troy Sudbrook.
And that's the difference currently, Tyler, in this game from the 9 o'clock start. You saw Gunnar Antillion there. We'll paint the picture. The ball's grounded over to him. He takes about a step, delivers the throw on a line to Brady Birchmeyer. If that were to happen in the rain at like 9:15, right when this game's action started kicking off, that ball would have been held for probably 2-3 seconds longer, and Konzak might have beaten the throw.
So we have resumed action 7 hours and 50 minutes after first pitch of this game happened earlier this morning, just after 9 o'clock. Absolutely incredible what the weather can cause.
Good news is the rain's looking like it's going to hold off for the rest of the tournament, besides a couple quick showers, which is a really welcome sight, I want to say as well. I want to make a solemn promise on air that this will be one of the last times we talk about the weather delay. But it is nice to know that those adjustments were made and that the weather seems to now have held off for the remainder of the tournament.
Yeah, it's a 1-2 count now at the plate on Sudbrook, but we only have 1 hour of 30% chance of rain or higher after we get through this 5 p.m. hour, according to the Weather Channel, as it's lined into center field. But straight at Garrett Wright, the usual catcher, makes the catch for the second out of the inning. And if you look at the next couple days, we were worried about Friday. I wrote in my piece of the takeaways from day one of the MAC tournament, it was about a 30-something% chance of rain tomorrow. Well, that's down to 18% now, just 8% on Saturday and 14% on Sunday. So you would have to hope we are in the clear and that there will be no more rain delays for the rest of this tournament. No guarantees, but it's looking a lot better than it was, say, 7 hours ago. The first pitch to Charlie Chauvin, swinging, lines at center field, fairly deep, right going back, and he makes the catch right before the warning track, so it's a 1-2-3 inning worked by Nate Kress. In the top of the third, Bowling Green bats coming up to the plate for the first time since about 7 hours ago. When we come back, you're listening to BGSU Baseball from the MAC Tournament on Falcon Radio.
Hey, I'm Lucas Kleinmeyer, and you are listening to a presentation of the Falcon Media Sports Network on Falcon Radio. For Falcons, by Falcons.
I'm Chris Jakovic. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is, my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately, in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakovic, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
AA made all the difference in my life. I noticed that most of the goals I had as a kid were slipping by. I didn't feel like the person I hoped to be. After all those years of drinking, I really didn't know myself. When I was out there drinking, I was always looking for the next great party to make me feel all right. With AA, I found a better way of life. And I feel good in my everyday life, even without a drink in my hand.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a...
Back here on Falcon Radio, Tyler Kavitz alongside Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network on site at the MAC Tournament at Crusher Stadium in Avon, Ohio. And Bowling Green bats coming back to the plate for the first time in quite a while since we had that lengthy rain delay. They are trailing 9-7. In the order for Bowling Green up to the plate will be Kanan Parker, Cooper McKenzie, and Garrett Sloan. And I didn't do it there in the top of the third because it was our first time back in a second. But your trivia question today, Chaz, is which MAC baseball team has won the most MAC tournament championships?
Oh, I got it. I did the research. It's Kent State.
Well, you could have let it go on for the listeners.
Well, no.
Do you know how many Kent State's won?
Yes.
How many?
How about that? Let's change it.
All right, how many has Kent State won? A9, B10,
Yep.
C11, or D12?
I know it. Tyler, I'm really scratching my head here. It's either 11 or 12, I want to say. So we'll get that answer at the top of the fifth.
Yeah, so that's the news. So Kent State has won the most MAC tournament championships.
Put that in the book. I got one.
Chaz didn't want to play along with it. So is it either A9, B10, C11, or D12? We'll find out in the top of the fifth. Don't cheat like Chaz did.
Cheat.
No, I know.
Doing my job.
May have to look up, if anyone wants to look up the longest rain delay. We'll see how close we got.
Of all time?
Yeah. Maybe college baseball. See if we can find a college baseball one, because MLB is going to be like 3 days or something. It's a 1-1 count on Caden Parker. This pitch misses up high and in for a ball. Nathan Leininger on the mound, 6'5", right-hander, 215, junior from Powell, Ohio. On the year, Leininger's 5-5, 15 appearances, a start, a .591 earned run average. He's thrown 32 innings, 17 walks to 32 strikeouts. Opponents hit only 224 off of Leininger.
I couldn't find an answer for you, Tyler, but I did find something else pretty wildly interesting.
3-1 count now on Parker. What was that?
In 2009, Texas and Boston College played in the longest game in college baseball history, a 25-inning marathon that took a little over 7 hours. That's as if this Texas-Boston College game started when the rain delay took over and just ended now.
That's ridiculous. I did find the longest rain delay in LB history. We'll get to that after this at bat. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Caden Parker. The pitch from Leininger fouled off of Parker's foot. So as he walks around, the longest rain delay, Chaz, in LB history, 7 hours, 23 minutes.
We would have beaten it.
I don't think we would have beaten it. I think we were just under 7. Because you got to
bring the clouds.
The game paused at about 10:30, and we resumed at 5 o'clock.
Is it singular rain delay? Or is it combined? Because
that was a single one. The game was postponed after the 7 hours, 23 minutes.
Why even keep fans and players around that long?
Thank goodness the MAC did not do that to us last night, as Caden Parker looks at ball 4 outside. So free 90 feet for Caden Parker. And Bowling Green, leadoff base runner, 3rd inning in a row to begin this game. It's weird saying to begin this game now as we're sitting here at 5:08 p.m.
And Tyler, this is exactly what I was telling you off air. Bowling Green, with the strong pitching performance of Nate Kress, now have the opportunity to just take this baseball game over. Despite being down 2 runs, they have the chance, with your ace pitcher being gone in the form of Bergman, then your best relief pitcher in the form of Skiriotis, both being out.
Yeah.
Bowling Green is really advantageous despite being down 2.
Parker off and running. McKenzie sends this one out deep left center field. Lido and Walden both going at it. Lido makes the catch on the warning track just before the wall in left center field, and that sends Caden Parker scrambling back to first. Cooper McKenzie gave that one a pretty good ride to left center field, but just not far enough. Lido a tremendous job of tracking it from center field to make the catch and keep Caden Parker put at first. And that brings up Garrett Sloan with 1 out, bottom of the order for Bowling Green.
Caden Parker also one of those players that is very speedy. 7 for 11 on stolen base attempts. He is just a very twitchy runner, and we saw it right there. So it'll be interesting to see with him, with a pretty sizable lead at first, see if he tries and takes second away from Cahill.
The first pitch to Sloan in there for a strike. Garrett Sloan, kind of a late season resurgence for him. Retaking over that third base position that he started the season at.
And we mentioned this 7 hours ago now.
Parker thought about going, held up, and a swing and a miss from Sloan, and he goes tumbling to the ground in front of home plate, and that's that wet footing there. That loose footing with the wet turf. That's the problems it's going to cause for these players. That was not as much Sloan swinging out of his shoes as it was him getting slightly imbalanced in the box and going a little tumbling because his feet gave out under him because of that slick, wet turf. And this is not a surface that Bowling Green is used to playing on. They are used to the natural grass and natural dirt. As Sloan pops it up to the right side, coming in and making the catch is Kozak. He called off Herbert, the second baseman, and the right fielder makes the catch for the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up Gunnar Antillion, the leadoff batter for Bowling Green.
Bowling Green do need to get some offense going here. They've only got 1 hit so far today. That one from Brady Birchmeyer, a 2-run RBI that cashed in Antillion and right in the bottom of the second off of back-to-back hit by pitches. They don't really have any contact-to-contact that caused a run. So it would be very big for them to get the bats to heat up despite the drizzle coming down.
So according to Nathan Burkett, our board operator back in the Falcon Radio studio at the Cooling Center on the campus of Bowling Green State University, the longest rain delay in college baseball history is 8 hours 58 minutes between Ohio Valley University and West Virginia State.
Are those even schools?
I'm not sure. Parker off and running. The throw down, not in time, almost goes to center field. A nice stop by Chauvin, the shortstop behind the bag at second base to save it. But you can chalk it up as a stolen base for Caden Parker. For Parker, that'll be stolen base number 8 on the season. He's 8 for 12, and Bowling Green has a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Yeah, Tyler, and what really happened there, it was an outside pitch by the pitcher, Leininger. And Leininger, what he basically did, he left it a bit outside, and Antillian kept his bat on his shoulder. Parker goes to run, and with how big of a throw he had to make, it's a very good job.
This one grounded over the left side, and there's going to be a light throw by Sudbrook. Just bounces it off the turf to Cahill, and that's how the third inning ends. Bowling Green strands a runner on second, and it remains a 9-7 game. Toledo leading. We go to the top of the fourth here in Avon, Ohio. Bowling Green trailing. See if they can keep it the same score when we come back. You're listening to BGSU Baseball on Falcon Radio. On November 16th, 2024, BGSU Volleyball defeated Ohio in 5 sets, clinching their 7th regular season championship under head coach Daniela Tomic. Falcon Media Sports Network's Chaz McNeil had the call on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Picked up on the attack, Archinska off the block, saved by LaPinta. Over is on the attack is Hovey. The Falcons have done it. Bowling Green will host the MAC Tournament regular season championship returns to the orange and brown.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call. Do have some on this day in baseball history as we reach the top of the fourth. So to start off, Chaz, we go back to May 22nd, 1893, in the first game at the Louisville Colonels' new Parkland Field, played by mutual agreement with the pitcher under the old rules. Cincinnati wins 3-1. Not sure what that means, but it's interesting nonetheless. Then in 1901, at Cincinnati, Reds ace Noodles Hahn strikes out 16 Boston batters en route to a 4-3 Reds win. The 16 strikeouts will stand as the club record until matched by Jim Maloney in 1963. Have a couple more for you. We'll save that for the bottom of the fourth, as it's going to be Cole Cahill leading things off in the bottom half of the inning. It'll be Cahill, Lido, and Mariano due up for the Rockets.
And Cahill, in his appearance today, had back-to-back walks. It'll be interesting to see if he's still able to draw these walks or if it was a weather thing. But his first pitch will be a ball.
And did some crunching the numbers. I believe our rain delay was about 6 hours, 40 minutes for this game, as it's flown out to the left side but foul by Cahill. So that would put us a good 2.5 hours behind the college baseball record. And we since learned from Nathan Burkett back in the studio that you were wondering whether Ohio Valley University and West Virginia State were real universities, as the pitch is grounded to the left side past the diving Gunnar Antillian. That's going to be a single for Cole Cahill as it leaks out to the outfield. Ohio Valley University and West Virginia State were D3 universities. And Nathan, you may have to get in my ear and correct me here. One of those universities is no longer open, I believe. I don't remember exactly which one. But I know that one of those is no longer around. So that tells you a little bit. Ohio Valley is the one. Ohio Valley University has since closed. So as the pitch runs inside, and that's going to hit Luke Toledo. So even without the rain, some control issues by these pitchers. And just like that, Toledo runners on first and second, nobody out, top of the fourth.
This is a very tough situation for Bowling Green because you look at everything going on, kind of similar to what we saw before the rain delay.
Yeah.
If the bases get loaded with no outs, you know how quick that can turn. And to add more walks to this count and hit by pitches, that is a tough sign.
This is a Toledo team that has not had the strongest offense this season. As a strike thrown in by Kress, it was a bunt shown by Mariano before he pulled it back. As we'll see if he shows it again. He will not. Kress's pitch right down the middle for a strike. But this Toledo offense is not the greatest in the world. They're actually one of the worst by statistics in the MAC, but they are very good against this Bowling Green team the past few games. They've heated up against the Falcons. They've heated up overall. The next pitch by Kress down low. Toledo is arguably the hottest team in the MAC coming into this tournament, as they've won 5 straight games. Over those 5 games, they've outscored their opponents 61-17. Nate Kress's next pitch in the 1-2 count, a swing and a miss at the plate by Trey Mariano. He goes down on strikes. That's just the 3rd strikeout by Bowling Green pitchers so far today. And that brings up Luke Walton. 2 on for Toledo, 1 out in the inning.
And Luke Walton feels like actually only one batter did not reach base off of a walk or a hit by pitch. And that's all the way at the top of the order. Caleb Herbert. Walton, one of those that walked.
Walton lines it in the left field, but basically straight at Caden Parker. He makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning.
And that's what Bowling Green needs, too. A quick 2nd out. Now pressure gets put on Bowling Green. You get to the bottom of their order with White, who has a single and a walk, as he was one of those walks that was brought back. Actually, no, he was one of the only ones that wasn't brought back.
Yeah, he only reached first base on that walk. He's also singled, had an RBI single. One of the 4 hits for Toledo. Nate Kress looked back at second, now delivers home, outside for a ball. Wind still blowing, pretty strong out there, and indicated by the flags in right center field. The American flag and the Lake Erie Crushers logo flag. Scoreboard in right field here at Crusher Stadium. The next pitch is chopped over to the left side of the infield. Gunnar Antillion throws it on the ground, bounces off the turf right into the glove of Brady Birchmeyer. A nice play by Antillion, waiting for the ball to get past to the runner, and then making an excellent high IQ throw on this turf for the final out of the inning. And
I do have to say before we go to the break, Gunnar Antillion tried that move in the 2nd inning. And in that inning, the turf was so wet, the ball just kind of plunked into the turf. There, he notices he can get a little bit more traction, tries the bounce, it works. That sends us to the bottom of the 4th now.
So we'll take a quick break, have some more on this day in baseball history and Bowling Green batting when we come back. You're listening to BGSU Baseball from the MAC Tournament on Falcon Radio.
My therapist had told me that I needed to go to AA meetings, but I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go because I didn't want to be an alcoholic. That was not what I wanted to grow up and be. I didn't want to go to AA, but I did, and it wasn't what I expected by any means. It was friendly. I could feel it. I could feel the happiness. It's really great.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a
Back here at Crusher Stadium in Avon, picking up with this on this day in baseball history, we now move to 1907, May 22nd, 1907. American League umpire Billy Evans needs a police escort after argumentative Detroit Tigers manager Huey Jennings incites a riot. Jennings will be suspended. And then, in 1911, Boston hurler Cliff Curtis sets a major league mark by losing his 23rd consecutive game. The mark, which was achieved on May 22nd, 1911, started on June 13th, 1910.
Wow. Yeah, you never cease to impress me with how easily you find fights in the MLB and riots.
You'd be surprised at how many fights there are in old-time baseball.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like 1920s and before, like dead ball era baseball.
Ton of fights. People were throwing hands for
It was
every
the
little.
old rules of baseball. There wasn't really any, it was kind of the wild, wild west of baseball. So, Garrett Wright up the bat for Bowling Green. It's Wright, Birchmeyer, Horkey. 2, 3, 4 in the order for the Falcons. First pitch, Wright sees, fouls it off to the right side.
Wright ground out in his first at-bat in the first inning, and then in the second, he was hit by a pitch. We didn't see him in the third, obviously, as he was on deck but didn't end up batting. So now we'll see him here at the bottom of the fourth with Bowling Green in a 2-run deficit.
He fouls it off the right side again. Two of the biggest hit-by-pitch guys in the MAC in this game. Garrett Wright has now been plunked 27 times this season. And on the other side for Toledo, Charlie Shulvin, who was also hit by a pitch earlier in the game, has been hit 32 times. Pretty incredible. Those guys complete ball magnets. Wright fouls off the third straight pitch. Still down in the count 0-2.
And I think you can see from Wright here a little bit, he's getting a feel of Leininger. He knows that Leininger is going to probably stay in this game for a while, trying to get into his head early and figure out his pitches. If it costs an at-bat, it costs an at-bat.
It fouled off to the right side once again, and Garrett Wright has not really put a solid swing on any of these pitches. It's kind of been him leaning at the ball and just throwing the head of the bat at it, and he's fouled off 4 straight pitches doing that. Wright, one of the hardest outs in the MAC and all of college baseball over the past 2 years. As he continues just to be a pest at the plate, as he continues to evolve offensively, still just the sophomore. The next pitch from Leininger, there is a swing and a miss by Garrett Wright. He's down on strikes.
And that sends up Brady Birchmeyer. And if Bowling Green want to get some momentum going, I think Birchmeyer would be a good start. He's the only Falcon to have a single. He's got 2 RBIs. He himself figured it out in this game in the pouring rain. If he can continue that momentum, it might bleed through the rest of the orange and brown. And similarly for Toledo, if you can strike him out, you might be able to take away all of that momentum.
The first pitch to Brady Birchmeyer, a big swing and a miss. But as I was mentioning not too long ago, the wind's still pretty prevalent here in Avon. It's blowing at 13 miles per hour, 53 degrees out there. On the field, it feels about 42 degrees because of the wind. No sun in sight, no blue skies in sight, all gray clouds overhead. Birchmeyer grounds this left side of the infield, fielded by the shortstop Shulvin, and Charlie Shulvin's throw in time to retire Birchmeyer. So 2 quick outs in the inning for Bowling Green, and it brings up Zach Corky, the cleanup batter.
Zach Horkey walked and flew out. He did make contact. It was a pretty hard-hit ball. He put all of his effort behind it, but he wasn't quite able to get it over the fence. And I mean, from the strategy we've seen from Bowling Green in these past 2 innings, they are swinging at whatever they can to try and get this game back to even and then maybe reset their style.
Bowling Green still trailing by 2 runs, 9-7. First pitch to Horkey, misses down low for a ball. Nathan Leininger's been pretty solid since coming into the game for Toledo. Him and Nate Kress on the mound for each of their teams. I would have to imagine Ryan Stedel for Toledo and Kyle Halleck for Bowling Green both going to look for lengthy outings out of the 2 arms, trying to preserve their bullpens, which they have each had to go into in this game because of the weather. Who knows what Jacob Turner and Jackson Bergman starts could have looked like with good weather. 1-1 count now. The next pitch is in there for a strike. Zach Corky goes down in the count, 1-2. 2 outs here, bottom of the 4th. Toledo leads Bowling Green 9-7. First round action at the MAC tournament here in Avon.
And Tyler, I really think this game's a crack of the bat away. depending on the team. I don't think the 2 runs really change much for either side.
You mentioned it could be a pitcher's duel on our pregame because of the weather. Ended up being the opposite because of the effect of the rain. But now with the current weather situation, it could become a pitcher's duel, like you were mentioning before this game originally started earlier in the morning.
Oh, Tyler, it was a pitcher's duel in the first 2 innings, that's for sure.
The next pitch from Leininger, a swing and a miss by Zach Corky. 2 strikeouts the inning for Leininger. Falcons go down 1-2-3, and Toledo will come up to bat in the top of the 5th when we come back. We'll also have the reveal of our trivia question when we come back. You're listening to BGSU Baseball from the MAC Tournament on Falcon Radio.
Interested in joining Falcon Media Sports Network? If you're looking to get involved, send an email to sports@bgfalconmedia.com.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU Student Media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com. Back here in Avon, Ohio, we have reached the top of the 5th inning. And Chaz, it's time for some trivia. So you got the first one I tried to do right before you let me even kind of finish the question of who won the most MAC tournament championships in the Mid-American Conference's history. It is Kent State, so I posed you a different one of how many times have they won it. And your options are A, 9, B, 10, C, 11, or D, 12. Do you have a final answer?
I know it's not 9 or 10. I'm between 11 and 12. 11 is my gut feeling.
Okay.
I'm going to go 12.
It is 12. It is 12 Mid-American Conference Tournament Championships. The Kent State Golden Flashes have won this tournament in 1992, 93, and then 2001, 2, 4, 7, 8, or 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, and most recently, 2018.
And so does that count for me? Does that go to my counter?
Yeah, sure.
Look at that.
What was that, 4 of your last 6? Somewhere along that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
First pitch from Nate Kress of the inning. Misses inside to Caleb Herbert, the leadoff batter for the Golden Flashes. Nearly hit him before Herbert turned out of the way. The next pitch from Kress, basically same spot, misses for a ball. 2-0 to start Herbert and the inning. We're in the top of the 5th here in Avon. Bowling Green trailing Toledo 9-7. This game originally started at 9:09 in the morning before a 6.5-hour rain delay struck the area. We picked up action right before 5 o'clock. And this will be one of the 2 games that we look to finish here tonight. The loser of this game will play Eastern Michigan in the other game tonight. Before the winner of this game will have a matchup tomorrow against Miami. The ball is pumped up to the right side in foul territory. Birchmeyer chasing after it, and I don't believe he caught it.
No,
he was chasing after it in the bullpen area of Toledo's, which, like Stellar Field, the bullpens are in the field of play here at Crusher Stadium, and Birchmeyer just unable to come out with that, just out of his reach, in his first game back at first base since coming back from injury.
Yeah, Tyler, I think Brady got a good read on that ball, but he tried to catch it right on the fingertips, it looked like. Like he had it, he was right under it, but instead of going straight for the palm or the webbing, he went for a quick snag, and it just didn't end up going his way.
This one fouled off to the back by Herbert. Herbert today is one of the rare guys that has not been hit by a pitch or walked. He's singled, grounded out, and struck out. The next pitch to Herbert is swung on and missed, dropped third strike. McKenzie will pick it up and throw it over to Birchmeyer to complete the strikeout. Second strikeout of the game for Nate Kress, and the 4th straight out for the right-hander.
And also the second strikeout for Herbert. He ended up closing out right before the rain delay when he went down looking. And, I mean, I don't blame him in that condition where every single ball felt like it was just dumping.
We got to the point where we talked about guys going up to the plate with no bat in their hands and seeing if pitchers could even throw strikes that way. That's how bad this weather was earlier today. So Caden Konzak strides into the box. First pitch to Konzak, misses for a ball.
That one did not miss by much, Tyler.
Did not indeed. Konzak now lines this one right center field. And that one is going to get up and out of here. Caden Konzak, a solo shot to right center field, extends Toledo's lead. The Rockets in double digits now lead the Falcons 10-7. That one tattooed by Konzak. Garrett Wright, Zach Corky didn't give much chase to it before it flew past those logos and right center field and out of here at Crusher Stadium.
Yeah, Tyler, at the end of the day, I don't think you're the most upset about it. A solo shot with nobody on, one out. It does extend the lead for the Rockets by 3, but Bowling Green already knew they had to come back by 2. That's 1 run more, and you're going to need momentum regardless, but Toledo showing that their bats are going to stay awake here as up comes Troy Sudbrook.
First pitch to Sudbrook, a ball. Toledo's lead now at 3, going to be crucial in these later innings. It's so important to win the first game of a double elimination tournament. To go in to the later rounds of the tournament with that advantage of not playing with your backs against the wall and having a loss to give. This one grounded to first. Brady Birchmeyer, nice diving stop, flips into Kress, and they got him. That's the defensive gem from Brady Birchmeyer that the Falcons have been missing at first base for about a month. Welcome back, Brady Birchmeyer to first base. He gets the second out of the inning for Bowling Green.
And I think Gavin Gannon at first base, which we've seen him at for the past month, would have made or just missed out on that play. And I think that really does come down to the size of Brady Birchmeyer as well. Just a bigger guy, his ability to get down.
He's so sneakily athletic, too.
I think at the end of the day, you love that Brady's there, and it's almost a play for a play. He has that drop pop fly, whereas I think Gannon would have made that grab, but then you have Brady making a play I don't think Gannon would have made.
Brady Birchmeyer was on his way to MAC, and an All-MAC first-team or All-MAC second-team honors with his early start of the season before getting injured, as this one lined up the middle by Charlie Chauvin and threw for a single, a 2-out single for Chauvin. Toledo still showing life with 2 outs. They punished Bowling Green with 2 outs in the 2 games at Scott Park that we witnessed this regular season. That'll bring up Cole Cahill.
And Cahill, he's coming off of back-to-back walks and a hit. It'll be interesting to see what he does here with the runner on first base. Cahill, on the season, has a 290 average as a sophomore. He's in 203 at-bats. He has 59 hits for 28 runs, 8 doubles, a triple, and 3 homers.
Kress's first pitch misses for a ball. It's one thing Nate Kress has struggled a little bit in this outing with, that's getting behind to these Toledo batters early. You'd like to see some more first pitch strikes.
That's really what I think it boils down to, too. He's just a bit outside.
As this one lined into center field, that's going to left center field. That's going to settle in front of Cannon Parker, Garrett Wright. By the time Parker picks it up, advancing all the way to third from first is Charlie Chauvin. And Toledo with runners on the corners with 2 outs, and Luke Lido coming to the dish.
Lido has a double. He opened up with that. Now he is coming off of a walk and a hit by pitch. But you don't want to see this out of Kress early. It's not like he's just missing the zone. He's honestly very on target. But his issue is he's leaving everything right over the plate. And Toledo being very savvy, they're swinging on what they want and cashing in. And if your pitcher has already been figured out just an inning or 2 innings into his work, that is a tough draw in this game.
Nate Kress's first pitch induces a big swing and a miss by Luke Lido. Wanted all of that fastball and got none of it. Under the lights here at Crusher Stadium. As Nate Kress's next delivery misses for a ball. It was kind of funny watching the rain delays yesterday. The lights, I didn't expect it, immediately turned off when we entered rain delays. They were not messing around about that.
I mean, that energy bill's got to be through the roof.
I mean, we saw the scoreboard today off for a good 5 hours during that rain delay. They didn't care about keeping that on with rain delay on it. I think we may have been one of, 2 of maybe 10 people left in the stadium at one point. There was not many. Decent turnout back here at the stadium, all things considered, for these two teams. The next pitch is skied to the left side by Lido. Sloan chasing after it. Over by the bullpens, just misread it. May have been the wind pushing it back, ran into the bullpens, overran it slightly, tried to turn back to get it, and wasn't able to get there in time. He was chasing after it, and Gunnar Antillion and Kaden Parker were not far behind. All three unable to catch that in foul territory. So Luke Lido stays alive at the plate. 1-2 the count on him. 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Toledo with runners on the corners. It's Cahill at first and Shulvin at third. They lead 10-7 over Bowling Green.
And another big missed opportunity for the Falcons there, Tyler.
And the next pitch by Kress misses outside. 2-2 the count.
And you can think there, Kress was almost just trying to force an errant swing there for Lido, and instead Lido eyes it down, takes his time, and opts not to swing, which was the right decision.
Kress's next pitch is fouled off to the right side. Caught by one of the Toledo players in the dugout. That was a nice catch.
There's a celebration happening in the Toledo dugout.
Went off for the netting over that dugout. Player stuck out his hands. Ball went right into it. Nice play. As they continue celebrating that in the dugout. 2-2, still the count on Luke Lido at the plate. The pitch by Nate Kress is lined into right field. That'll score a run. It's going to go to the corner as Zach Corky chases it. Misreads it off the wall. Here comes around third, Cole Cahill. The throw in, not going to be in time. It's a 2 RBI triple for Luke Lido as Toledo's lead is up to 5 runs, 12-7 here in the top of the 5th in Avon.
Yeah, Tyler, that was just a shot by Lido. That ball curves on the inside of Brady Birchmeyer, then curves to the outside near the right field line, and it goes all the way back to the warning track. Then Zach Horkey has trouble with it. They try to get the throw. That's not going to go. That was just a big-time play by a big-time player in the senior Luke Lido.
And here's where that 2-run advantage coming into this inning helps Toledo. They've put a 3 spot on it, and their lead is now 5, 12-7. The Rockets have out-hit the Falcons 8-1. Hit-wise, it's seeming eerily similar to those Scott Park games earlier in the season between these two teams.
Good news, though, for Kress. He does start in this count 0-2, something we haven't really seen a whole lot from him today, is building his count.
Mariano down in that count early. Kress looking to work out of the inning. This one down and outside for a ball.
It's almost coming very expected from Kress, where if he gets any point in the count where he's got 2 strikes and 2 or less balls, he's just going to throw it on the outside and try and force a swing. And
a lot of throwaway pitches by Kress.
Yes, exactly.
Mariano's next swing is fouled off to the back. Still 1-2 count. Trey Mariano has an RBI today. He's 0 for 2. A ground out and a strikeout to go along with the walk. Has not scored in today's game. Nate Kress's next pitch is a swing and a fly to right. Settling under it is the right fielder, Horkey. He makes the catch to end the inning, but Toledo strikes for 3 more. They lead it 12-7. We go to the bottom of the 5th here in Avon. You're listening to BGSU Baseball from the MAC Tournament on Falcon Radio.
in mid-2017, we received the news that nobody wants to hear. Your child has cancer. St. Jude made us feel that everything was gonna be alright. It's like an army of people working together, following the same dream, which is getting 100% success rate for curing childhood cancer.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
I didn't think it was possible for me to be an alcoholic. I was 24 with a good career. I thought I was too smart and that alcoholism only happened to middle-aged men and celebrities. I thought something else was making me sick, shaky, and afraid to face people. Then I found AA and discovered it wasn't something else, it was alcohol. AA helped me find a new life.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a
Due up for Bowling Green here in the bottom of the fifth is Sam Seidel, Gavigan, and Caden Parker. 5, 6, 7 in the order. The Falcons now face a 5-run deficit after a 3-run top of the fifth by the Toledo Rockets, their rivals. Rockets leading it 12-7 here at the MAC tournament at Crusher Stadium in Avon, Ohio. As we're seeing a cop car chase down a car on the highway across from us.
Right.
A high-speed chase there. That's a little fun excitement and action into this game.
Not for the driver of that vehicle.
No. There's a highway that runs. You can see it through the right field, right center field, outfield line here in Avon. Speedway out in center field. And outside of that, it's pretty much all grass and trees in the outfield at Crusher Stadium. First pitch to Sam Seidel is in there for a strike. Still Nathan Leininger on the mound for the Rockets. Kind of surprised that's the first comp we've seen. I don't remember seeing one last year.
To be honest with you, I don't really remember.
Sam Seidel flies this one. Shallow right center field. Coming in to make the catch is the center fielder Lido. And that's one down for Bowling Green. And that's 7 straight Falcons set down by Toledo pitching, dating back to the third inning.
Yeah, Tyler, it's just a very tough draw for Bowling Green right now. They're just unable to get anything going. They're getting hits, but they're not getting anything actually good contact. They're making contact, I should say, but no hits.
I was going to say, only one hit on the day for Bowling Green compared to Toledo's 8. This offense just has not been kick-started yet.
That they're hitting the baseball, but it's not going in play for Bowling Green.
One play can change that all. Momentum, a huge thing in college baseball. Gavigan at the plate, looked at a first pitch ball. The next pitch from Leininger is swung on and found to the back.
Gavigan 70 strikeouts on the year. Actually, now he'll go to 71 because he did strike out in his last appearance in this game. And he is just a very big swing guy. He's going to take a cut at the ball whenever it's needed. Not the most patience. He'll try and battle, but he usually ends up going down to backwards Ks.
2-1 the count on Gavigan, wearing that orange ninja headband as usual, along with the orange arm sleeve on his right arm. And he's going to be hit by a pitch. So Gavigan, a free 90 feet. Second time he's reached base today. 1 on a walk, 1 on a hit by pitch. And it's going to bring up Caden Parker, a runner on with 1 out.
And if you're Bowling Green, you have Caden Parker, who's reached base in both of his plate appearances, 1 in a hit by pitch and 1 in a walk. And anything to move Ganun closer and shrink this lead is what you desperately need at this point. You're just about to the point in this game where you got to get things to work.
And the rain's starting to come down a little heavier now. Some more umbrellas breaking out over those past 30 seconds.
Exactly at the halfway mark in this baseball game as well.
We're going to have some of these pockets throughout this game where more rain will appear. The hope is that none of it is extended or that heavy to cause a delay. I think we should be in the clear for that. Knock on some wood. First pitch ball to Caden Parker was inside. Parker turned away from it, nearly hit. The next delivery from Leininger is in there for a strike. Parker thought about going for it, held back. Caden Parker this season, a .237 batter coming into today's game. Not a ton of power, just 2 doubles and 2 home runs on the year. But a veteran player, the Westland, Oregon native, a senior for Bowling Green. His next pitch is lined into left field. That's going to settle in front of the left fielder, Walton. And that's going to be a 1-out single for Caden Parker. And this Bowling Green offense could get going a little bit here. 2 runners on with just 1 out. Coop McKenzie coming to the plate, looking to continue the momentum.
And Tyler, with that 1 out, if you can get from McKenzie and Sloan to Antillian, Wright, or Birchmeyer, I think you're in business. All you have to do is just not ground into any typical double play that you might see, not do anything too crazy, and you might get to the strongest part of your batting order.
First pitch to Cooper McKenzie, misses for a ball. Cooper McKenzie does have pop in his bat. 3 doubles, 3 home runs in just 30 games and 23 starts this year. He's driven in 17 runs on the season. The next pitch to McKenzie, down in the dirt. Cooper McKenzie, a junior. A big breakout year at the plate for him in terms of at-bats. 92 at-bats for McKenzie. We've seen a lot of these 3-catcher lineups by head coach Kyle Halleck and Bowling Green this year, as that rain continues to come down a little harder here in Avon. Two 2-0 the count on McKenzie. Nathan Leininger comes set. The big right-hander looks back at second, now delivers. McKenzie fouls it off at the plate. And that one caught by the ball boy in the Bowling Green dugout. Get some cheers from the Falcons. Couple nice plays by each dugout on a few foul balls. 2-1 the new count on McKenzie. 1 out in the inning, 2 runners on. McKenzie pops this one up to the right side. That'll get out of play.
That one breaking towards the concourse. It's going to bounce on the concourse and get out of the building, Tyler.
We've seen a lot of foul balls hit out of this complex. Not that hard to get it up over the roof here. It's a pretty low roof. The only second deck seating are those kind of awning areas, the patio areas. They're not very big. 2-2 the count on McKenzie. Leininger's pitch is a check swing by McKenzie. He went around. Home plate umpire Jay Myers makes the call. McKenzie down on strikes. He's 0 for 3 on the day, and it'll bring up Garrett Sloan, who's 0 for 2.
Now on McKenzie's first strikeout of the day, and Garrett Sloan, since transferring into Bowling Green, he's just a sophomore, .232 average. He's appeared in 32 games. He started in 25. He just has 1 double. He's not a power guy whatsoever in this order. He's a solid 9-hole hitter, though. He does have 22 hits, more than a guy like Cooper McKenzie.
His slugging percentage as the pitch gets to the back. That's going to be a wild pitch by Nathan Leininger. But both Bowling Green runners going to advance 90 feet. So Gavin Gannon goes from second to third. Caden Parker from first to second. But as you were saying, Garrett Sloan, not a ton of power. That slugging percentage by far the lowest on this team at just .242. His OPS on the year is below 600. It's sitting coming into the game at .557. Leininger's next pitch to Sloan in the 1-0 count is missed outside for a ball. Sloan thought about going initially, held back. Gunnar Antillian, the leadoff batter for Bowling Green, awaits on deck. Would be great for the Falcons to get him an at-bat with some runners on in this inning. We'll see if Sloan, the bottom of the order, can set the table for those power guys in the next couple at-bats. The 2-0 pitch from Nathan Leininger is swung on and missed by Sloan.
And he swung himself out of his shoes there, and I think that does go down to the rain. Because one thing we haven't talked about yet, you get rain in your eyes. You get rain messing up with the motion of the baseball as you see it. There is a lot going on here as well, just with the sprinkle that we have coming down.
The next pitch by Leininger, lined up the middle. It's going to be a diving stop by the second baseman, Herbert. He can't control it. It was a nice play to stop it, but scoring is Gavin it on, and going to third is Kaden Parker. It'll most certainly be rolled an infield single by Garrett Sloan and an RBI single for Sloan. Now a 12-8 ball game here in Avon. Bowling Green scoring for the first time since the second inning.
And that's exactly what the Orange and Brown needed to do. You get a guy that's uncharacteristically put in these situations. It's not like a guy like Gunnar Antillian or Garrett Wright, where the batters in front of him usually end up on a base. You look at Gannon, Parker, McKenzie, they all struggle in their own ways batting. They have a lot of strengths, but Sloan isn't used to this.
And Antillian lines this in the left field. That will score Kaden Parker. An RBI single by Gunnar Antillian. And just like that, we're back to a 3-run ball game, 12-9 the new score. Bowling Green with still 2 runners on. And the tying run coming to the plate in Garrett Wright with 2 outs.
This is a guy that Bowling Green needs to step up. He does not have a hit today. He was hit by a pitch, and he struck out swinging in the bottom of the 4th. He was the first batter. So now him doing a little shimmy to try and get ready.
And I got to say, he looked a little uncomfortable in that last at-bat compared to normal Garrett Wright at-bats. Did not really put a good swing on any ball. Kind of threw the head of the bat at every pitch, leaning into it. Looks at a first pitch strike there to get a read. This is where Bowling Green really needs to capitalize, Chaz. You have Garrett Wright up. Brady Birchmeyer on deck. These are your 2 power guys in the lineup. 2 runners on, 2 outs. You're down by 3. The next pitch from Leininger. Swung on and fouled off to the right side by Wright. All of his foul balls in that last at-bat were to the right side. He was behind on every single one of them. Wright really sticking that right foot into the turf, trying to get a good grip. He is now set and awaiting the pitch. An 0-2 count on Garrett Wright. He struck out his last time up. Nathan Leininger comes set. His delivery is lined up the middle and past the diving Shulvin. Here comes around third Sloan. He will score. Striding into third is Gunnar Antillian. And it's an RBI single by Garrett Wright. Back-to-back-to-back RBI singles by the Falcons. And we're back to a 2-run ball game, 12-10.
Tyler, tell Bowling Green to open up shop, because right now you have the strong top of the 5th by Toledo completely erased just like that. And now up comes Brady Birchmeyer, a guy with so much power. He can tear the skin off a baseball by just thinking about it. And now you got him above home plate as the pitcher is seemingly rattled in the form of Leininger, who's getting talked to.
And still no arm up in the bullpen for Toledo.
Well, you can't go to your bullpen, really.
No.
And same thing for Bowling Green. Kress had his struggles. He had to figure it out.
Leininger is basically serving as a second starter in this game for the Rockets.
And Bowling Green's bats making him pay. It's a very back and forth by both teams. Very enjoyable. Was it worth 7 hours of waiting? We'll have to wait and see. But right now, this has been a actual slugfest.
Baseball is worth 7 hours of waiting, Chaz.
Get back to me on that.
Brady Birchmeyer at the plate looks at a first pitch strike. Birchmeyer on the year, a .310 batter coming into today's game. 9 doubles, 8 home runs, 44 runs batted in 36 games. He already has an RBI single today. Birchmeyer still looking for his first extra base hit since coming back from injury. Actually, sorry, he does have 1 extra base hit since coming back from injury. It was a double. Lines this one down the third base line. That's fair. That'll score Antillian. Here goes Garrett right into third. He will pull up there. It's an RBI double by Brady Birchmeyer. The Falcons have put up a 4 spot in the bottom of the 5th, and they trail by only 1 run, 12-11 at Crusher Stadium.
And just like that, you go from a 5-run deficit to a 1-run deficit. And Bowling Green, they are a small ball team. We know that. They are living by the small ball right now. You've got single, 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 and then the double. That's it. The double, the outlier there for 4 RBIs.
And the Falcons have batted through the order for the second time in today's game. They did it back in the first inning when they scored 5 runs. They've done it in this fifth when they've scored 4, and now we have action in the Toledo bullpen. Zach Corky flies it out to right field fairly deep, but going back and making the catch is Caden Konzak, but Bowling Green scores 4 here in the bottom of the fifth. It's now just a 1-run ball game in Avon. Toledo leading 12-11 as we head to the later innings. At Crusher Stadium, we go to the top of the 6th. You are listening to BGSU Baseball from the MAC Tournament on Falcon Radio.
I didn't think it was possible for me to be an alcoholic. I was 24 with a good career. I thought I was too smart and that alcoholism only happened to middle-aged men and celebrities. I thought something else was making me sick, shaky, and afraid to face people. Then I found AA and discovered it wasn't something else, it was alcohol. AA helped me find a new life.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a meeting near you.
I had this illness that really made me powerless over alcohol and that insisted that I got drunk. And so I got drunk. It doesn't have anything to do with trying to control it. An alcoholic who picks up the first drink will pick up the second drink. I can't say to anyone, no, don't drink. But I can say that when you decide you don't want to drink, come to AA. The door to AA is always open.
Visit AA.org for more information and download the Meeting Guide app to find a
To the top of the 6th we go. It's still Nate Kress on the mound for Bowling Green. And for Toledo, it will be 8-9 the top of the order. 2 up. Luke Walden, Braden White, and Caleb Herbert. Luke Walden today has been hit by a pitch, walked, and flown out to left field. And there is an arm up, as we mentioned before we went off air. There is an arm up in that Toledo bullpen. Try to get a number on him as soon as we can. But the first pitch from Nate Kress misses for a ball.
So now I've been given the duty to look for.
I had to call the game here, Chaz. As it fell to the back, count goes 1-1.
Well, there's 2. I've got both of them for you. Logan Jones, the senior righty. I've only got one for you, as I swear I saw a 9, and that was not a 9.
The Chaz binocular struggles continue as the pitch misses outside by Kress, 2-1. Sunglasses off. Chaz is serious about this one now.
Oh, I mean, that is most definitely a 9. Come on.
The next pitch by Kress is flown out fairly deep right field. Going back is Horky, and he is looking up. This one's out of here. A solo shot by Luke Walton. And Toledo's lead back up to 2 runs, 13-11. Second straight inning with a home run for the Rockets. And this offense continues to launch for Toledo.
Yeah, Tyler, there was nothing Horky could do about that one but just stare. Tyler, there's 2 bodies in there, but the only one throwing is Logan Jones. I'll tell you that, number 25, senior righty.
And I believe we did see Logan Jones.
We did.
In the PG series. I think we may have seen him 2 times, in fact. As the first pitch to Braden White is lofted on the infield to the left side. Gunnar Antillion calls it and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So 1 out now as we go to the top of the order for the Rockets. Now playing with a 2-run advantage once again, 13-11. A high-scoring MAC tournament game. Caleb Herbert up to bat, 1 for 4 in the day, a single, a ground out, and most recently back-to-back strikeouts, 1 looking and 1 swinging.
And in attendance are the Kent State Golden Flashes to watch these teams. They already know their opponent. It's Ball State, but in 2 rounds or in 1 round, depending on what happens in that game, they might be playing a Falcon or a Rocket.
And, you know, it makes sense for them to come today. They were scheduled to play today. Why not see some free baseball? Of course, neither of these teams, like you said, is going to be their focus. but just to get out of the apartment, move around, or get out of the hotel, move around a little bit. I remember we saw Bowling Green here last year when they were the 1 seed. Come and watch a baseball game that they were not a part of. 1-2 the count on Caleb Herbert. Kent State, arguably the best all-around team in the MAC, as it's a swing and a miss at the plate by Herbert. Down on strikes for the 3rd time in a row at the plate. He's had a rough day outside of his first at-bat, and that'll bring up Caden Konzak, who hit a home run his last time up. Konzak on the season now. 11 home runs, the most on this Toledo team. And he lines this one deep right field. That's going to get down and go into the corner. Fielded by Horkey. His throw is going to be to the cutoff man in time to hold up Konzak at first. Tremendously played by Horkey out there in right field to hold Konzak to a very long 2-out single.
In the 2-out, seemingly the superpower for the Rockets. They just thrive when their backs are up against the wall. And Troy Sudbrook, he is a guy that you mentioned how Herbert's had a tough go of it. I'd argue Sudbrook has had it worse. 2 groundouts, a flyout, and a walk consist of his resume in this game. And now Coach Kyle Halleck going to walk out as we do have a body warming up in the Falcon bullpen.
There is indeed an arm in the early stages of getting warm. So this most likely to buy some time for that arm to get warmed up.
It's looking to me, Tyler, like that can't be right. Hang on. It's Owen Poole.
I was going to say, I didn't want to jump, undercut you there.
Jump the shark, yeah.
Yeah, but based off the hair alone, it kind of looked like Owen Poole.
I saw the 2 and the 3 it was either a 2 or 3.
You got confused with Williman.
And I was like, that's not Landon Williman. So I assumed it was Poole, but I was like, what an interesting move that would be. Bring Williman, a Sunday closer, or a Sunday guy, in to be one of your relief pitchers.
I'd have to imagine that if Bowling Green loses this game against Toledo, that Landon Williman will be the starter for the Falcons. Now, if they win, I think that opens the door for Carson Sova to get the start. I just don't see head coach Kyle Halleck throwing out his freshman again in an elimination game in a conference tournament.
I agree with you there, Tyler.
And maybe he has his mindset on a starter either way, that he's going to start a guy game too. We don't know that for sure. Just pure assumption up here in the press box.
I mean, we saw that in the MAC tournament last year with Rigo Ramos.
And we were kind of surprised by that. Rigo had a tremendous outing.
Oh, yeah.
Last year at the MAC tournament, proved why that decision was made by head coach Kyle Halleck. First pitch, low to Sudbrook, almost skidded past McKenzie, but he was able to get it in time. The next pitch is down low again. This one does get past to McKenzie, and advancing to second on the wild pitch is going to be Konzak. So yet another wild pitch here today. We've had quite a few of these.
Yeah, Tyler, that's just, I think it's got to boil down to the grip on the baseball. You look at the rain, it is coming down rather heavily, and despite the fact that it's still a lighter rain than we've seen in the past in this game, it still is rather heavy just to play baseball in regardless.
I do feel like that's going to be pretty much a constant for the rest of this night, that we will have some sort of rain, whether it be a light breeze. And I think the hardest part about this rain is that it's rarely straight down because of the wind. It's coming in sideways most of this time, and that's tough to play in as it's fouled off to the left side.
We've seen a lot of strong contact being hit off of Kress as well. It's not like he's giving up singles or anything like that.
He's been squared up a few times.
He's slowly getting figured out, which is why I believe Owen Poole might be in sooner rather than later if this inning gets finished up quick.
The 3-1 pitch is lined up the middle. We'll see if Garrett Wright can make a throw. He fields it. Here comes his throw home. Going to be cut off. But trying to advance to second and being out by a mile is Sudbrook. But Sudbrook does drive in Caden Konzak. So Toledo's lead will grow even more. Now to 3 runs, 14-11. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Bowling Green trailing. You're listening to BGSU Baseball from the MAC Tournament in Avon, Ohio on Falcon Radio.
On February 11th, 2025, BGSU senior forward Marcus Johnson nailed an improbable corner three-pointer at the buzzer to give Bowling Green a lead over the Ohio Bobcats going into halftime. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz had the call on Falcon Radio.
Thomas looking for someone to inbound it to. Gets into Johnson. Corner 3, fading away to baseline. Marcus Johnson nails it. Bowling Green goes into half with the 2-point advantage, 34-32 on the miracle shot by Johnson.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Back here in Avon, Ohio, we have reached the bottom of the 6th in this game between Bowling Green and Toledo. And the Rockets' lead, Chaz, is back up to 3 runs. They lead at 14-11.
Yeah, Tyler. It's going to be one of those situations where we're going to have a lot of big changes. And speaking of changes, we do have a pitching change. That is Logan Jones coming in for Leininger. Leininger's day is officially done, and he wraps up his day with 3 innings pitched. It's been a long day. 51 pitches for 5 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. A walk and 3 strikeouts after facing 16 batters. He had a very solid day, but really had to close out in what was not a great fashion with 5 hits in a row.
Yeah, he got beat up at the end of that outing. Logan Jones, a 6'3", 200-pound right-hander, a senior from Milton, Georgia. On the year, Jones is 3-3, a 4.08 ERA, 18 appearances and 4 starts. He does have 4 saves on his ledger. 46 1/3 innings pitched, 46 strikeouts to 23 walks. Jones has allowed just 1 home run this season, along with 10 doubles. Opponents hit only .237 off of the righty. First pitch, a ball to Sam Seidel. It'll be Seidel, Gannon, and Parker. 5, 6, 7 due up. And we were talking off the air last inning about how the middle part of this order has not done much for Bowling Green. We've seen production out of the top 3. We've seen a little bit of production out of the bottom 3. But Zach Corky, Sam Seidel, Gavin Gannon have been relatively quiet so far here today. As Seidel whiffs on that pitch down to the dirt, count goes to 1-2.
And Sam Seidel has really just had a struggle since coming back from injury. His lone bright spot was that hit he had against Northern Illinois, his only hit since coming back from injury, that 2 RBI homer.
Seidel fouls it down the right side. So Logan Jones pitched in 2 games against Bowling Green this year. First was in the 5th third field game. Went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, I should say, 3 of which were earned, 2 walks to a strikeout, and then pitched a scoreless inning at Scott Park the next day, where he did not allow a hit, did not walk a batter, did not strike out anyone, only threw 14 pitches. That one in the dirt, or in the turf. 2-2 the count on Sam Seidel.
And Tyler, I wouldn't be shocked if we start to see some patience by Seidel. The control from Jones, a little more unexpected coming out of the bullpen.
Jones' next pitch fouled off to the right side. Seidel, at his best, is a high on-base guy. We talked to him after the final regular season game at Stellar Field and said he's obviously not where he was at midseason form because of the injury that took a month off his season, but he's working his way back towards there. The next pitch is popped up by Seidel in the infield. Settling under it, the catcher, White makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So a lengthy at-bat ends in an infield pop-out for Sam Seidel, and that brings up Gavin Gannon.
And consistent flyouts for Sam Seidel. He's making contact, but he's not recording any hits out of it. Slowly starting to figure out these pitchers. I believe if Jones is to stay in for one more Seidel at-bat, my bold prediction is we will see a pretty good hit off of him, but we'll just have to wait and see as up comes Gavin Gannon, who's also not having the strongest day with 2 walks and a strikeout swinging.
Seidel today, 0 for 3 with a walk. Gannon today, a walk, a strikeout, and a hit by pitch. Pretty much everything in his box score except for the traditional ones. No fly out, no ground out, no hit. There's a swing and a miss by Gannon, down the count 0-2. We've talked about the strikeouts at length for Gavin Gannon, 71 this season. The most in the MAC, the most in a single season in BG program history. The next pitch from Jones is chopped foul at the plate by Gavin Gannon. The strikeouts have been even more in the past few games to end the season. The next pitch by Jones down on the turf for a ball.
And Tyler, regardless of that ball, I believe we're going to see one of 2 outcomes here. I believe we're either going to see a strikeout swinging from Gannon based on his aggression or a pretty solid hit as he is just taking big swings.
And that one is swung on and missed, but gets past White. Here it goes. Gannon charging down first, but the throw going to be in time to finish the strikeout. So Gannon down on strikes for the second time today and the 72nd time this season.
Yeah, that was a tough one for Gannon. He believed he tipped that. You could tell when he swung.
Yeah.
Looks down at it. If he just started running immediately and doesn't try and look for that ball, he might actually beat out the throw there because he was rather close, and he took about 2 to 3 seconds to size everything up.
The first pitch to Caden Parker is flown out left side, and that one's going to be off for the wall for Parker. And Parker's going to stride into second a few feet away from a home run with a 2-out double. The power for Caden Parker has really started to show at the end of this season. He's squared up a few baseballs over the past few weeks. That one no different. Off of the wall in left center field, and Bowling Green a runner in scoring position for Cooper McKenzie. And I was watching Cooper McKenzie by the dugout. Gavin Gannon coming back to the dugout, stopped at Cooper McKenzie for a good 15 seconds and gave him a little bit of information from what he saw in his at-bat against Logan Jones. But it's not really going to matter for McKenzie as the first pitch to him hits him in the hip from Logan Jones. So now Bowling Green with runners on first and second and 2 outs. And Garrett Sloan, who had an RBI single last time up, comes up to the plate.
And Sloan showing off his big playability in his last at-bat just an inning ago. He had that RBI single that came at a huge moment with 2 outs. Now a hard-hit single would have a big opportunity to score Parker.
The first pitch to Sloan, down low, nice stop by White behind the plate. Garrett Sloan, 1 for 3 on the day, an RBI single, a fly out, and a ground out. The sophomore third baseman looking to get Bowling Green a little closer. They trail by 3. He fouls this one off to the right side. Count goes even at 1-1. On first is Coop McKenzie. On second is Caden Parker. 14-11 game, Toledo leading in the bottom of the 6th in a first-round matchup of the MAC tournament here at Crusher Stadium in Avon, Ohio. Logan Jones on the mound. His next pitch to Garrett Sloan, down low for a ball.
And a huge opportunity here if Sloan can even just force a walk, which would load the bases and send up Gunnar Antillion, who had a single in his last appearance. Falcon bats are hot. Only 2 flyouts and a strikeout through 8.
The next pitch to Sloan, just a bit low for a ball.
Everything else in those 8, so 5 of those at-bats have been hits.
The infield now goes back to double play depth. backing up from where they were the past few pitches in the 3-1 count as the rain continues to come down. The next pitch to Sloan is fouled off by Garrett Sloan at the plate. May have gone off his foot. The count goes full to 3-2. 2 outs in the inning. So that means McKenzie and Parker on first and second will be off and running on the pitch. Logan Jones, his pitch is missed for ball 4. That was a close one. Nice eye by Garrett Sloan to take it. And Gunnar Antillian comes to the plate with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Bowling Green trailing by 3 in the bottom of the 6th.
Tyler, you could argue a double here would tie the game, which would be absolutely monumental for the Orange and Brown.
I think a double in the alley would certainly tie this game.
It would have to be a pretty solid contact, I'd argue. Great fielding by Toledo in this game so far.
First pitch from Logan Jones is found to the back by Antillian. Antillian last time up with the RBI single, got that on the first pitch of the at-bat, wasted no time. Fouls this one off. Antillian has been hit by 2 pitches, has that single, and has a ground out. Logan Jones' next delivery misses down low for a ball. Jones has missed quite frequently over the past few at-bats. That control starting to go. Really started unraveling with a hit by pitch to Cooper McKenzie, then the walk to Garrett Sloan. 1-1 count on Gunnar Antillian. Logan Jones' next pitch is grounded by Antillian, foul down the third base line. I believe that's Carson Lumley there in the jacket making that snag. So it's now a 1-2 count on Gunnar Antillian.
And this outing has bought a lot of time.
The next pitch down low for a ball, bounced at the plate.
For BGSU pitcher Owen Poole to warm up as well. You can get him absolutely ready. Whereas for Jones, this is a tough look for Toledo. Just his control diminishing very early. But he does have the opportunity to close out with no damage put on the scoreboard.
2-2 count, 2 outs, bases loaded. Bowling Green trails by 3. The pitch down low. A nice stop by Braden White behind the plate. And we now go to a full count with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Every runner will be off on the pitch. Arguably the biggest pitch of the game upcoming from Logan Jones to Gunnar Antillian. Garrett Wright, one of the best hitters in the MAC, awaits on deck. Logan Jones comes set. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss by Antillian. Logan Jones fired up, walking off the mound, gets out of the big jam. Bowling Green strands 3 on the base pass. And we head to the top of the 7th. Toledo leading Bowling Green 14-11 here in Avon. You're listening to BGSU MAC Tournament Baseball on Falcon Radio.
What kind of help does the IRS have for identity theft victims?
If you suspect you're a victim of tax-related identity theft, go to irs.gov/identity theft to learn how to prevent potential refund fraud and protect your tax account. At the IRS, combating tax-related identity theft is a top priority, and we are committed to prevention, detection, and assisting victims. And we're working with law enforcement to catch the criminals. For more info, go to irs.gov/identity theft to learn what the IRS is doing to help protect you.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
The new pitcher for Bowling Green is Owen Poole. He replaces Nate Kress on the mound. We saw Poole warming up for Bowling Green for the past about inning and a half down that left field line. and he will be the third arm into the game for the Falcons. Owen Pohl, a sophomore righty, 6'2", 242 from Newark, Ohio. On the year, Pohl is 4-3, a 6.97 ERA. This will be his 20th appearance of the season. Pohl has worked 31 innings, 15 walks to 38 strikeouts. The opponent's bat, 270 off of Owen Pohl.
Owen Pohl, like we mentioned, had a lot of time to warm up in this one. You've got very hot bats for Toledo. They've scored 5 since the rain delay has been stopped. The Falcons have only scored 4. Bowling Green had a massive opportunity, and Tyler, we were talking off air, that might be a situation where Bowling Green looks back and they say, that was our big moment.
Yeah, if Bowling Green ends up losing this game, that's going to be the one. That's going to be the situation that you look back at if you're a Bowling Green fan and go, that's the opportunity that we had. Down by 3, bases loaded, Gunnar Antillion at the plate, a full count, Garrett Wright on deck, and Antillion went chasing for a Logan Jones pitch, bounced at the plate. And that's just going to be the opportunity that you look back at if this score holds. It kind of gave me flashbacks of the end of last year's season for the Falcons. You had Nathan Archer, the best player in the MAC, the player of the year for the conference, at the plate. He went down swinging at 3 straight pitches in the dirt to end the season for Bowling Green. Not at that point yet, though. Still time left in this game for the Falcons. Owen Pohl's first pitch to Charlie Shulvin, missed inside, that one down low. 2-0 the count to begin Shulvin's at-bat.
And also, Bowling Green have made a names for themselves in being the comeback kids this year.
The next pitch by Pohl in there for a strike. But Bowling Green also coming into this MAC tournament as arguably the most injured team in terms of key players out. You look down this roster of who they had at the beginning of the year that they no longer have, especially hitting-wise. It's 2 big names that stand out. You don't have DJ Newman, who was the only preseason first-team All-American player in the conference, and he was the conference's preseason player of the year. And you also don't have TJ Tackett, who was on track to be an all-conference player for this season. And he's a guy that has been a consistent hitter in Bowling Green's lineup, and you're just without those 2 key guys, and we've seen it affect Bowling Green throughout this season. The next pitch on the full count, a swing and a miss by Charlie Shulvin. Owen Pohl gets a strikeout in his first at-bat into the game. Shulvin down on strikes for the first time today. There's 1 out here in the top of the 7th.
And that was a really interesting at-bat for Shulvin. You could see he was trying to force some calls by home plate umpire Jay Myers, basically flinching with balls coming close. It was a savvy little game he had going on. But then on that very last one, he revealed all his cards.
This one chopped up the middle, and Antillion fields it. His throw in time to retire Cole Cahill, so 2 quick outs for Owen Pohl on the mound. And it brings up Luke Lido, a 2 RBI triple, his last time at the dish.
And now, if you look at this game from a Bowling Green perspective, the biggest thing you can do after failing to score any runs on a bases loaded with your leadoff guy up situation is go 1, 2, 3 and let that offense that was starting to warm up get right back out there.
The first pitch from Owen Pohl of the at-bat misses for a ball. Luke Lido on the season now has 11 doubles, 3 triples, 5 home runs, and 29 runs batted in. That last pitch bounced in front of the plate to the backstop. 2-0 the count on Lido.
That's one thing we've seen about Pohl throughout this game, too. He can absolutely placed it in the breadbasket as perfectly as you could ask for. But then he follows up nearly every strike with a really low ball in the dirt.
The next pitch from Poole is swung on and missed by Toledo. Count goes to 2-1. Owen Poole looking to work a 1-2-3 inning for Bowling Green. Would be just the second 1-2-3 inning for Falcons pitching today. This one foul tipped at the plate. Just like that, a 2-2 count with 2 outs. The only 1-2-3 inning for Bowling Green here today was the third. They also only faced 4 batters in the first and 5 batters in the fourth.
They need a short defensive run here.
As Poole's next pitch down and outside for a ball. Pitching's going to be huge down the stretch for Bowling Green. They got to hold this lead where it is at 3 runs. Some stretching going on in the Falcons bullpen. No one throwing as of yet. The 3-2 pitch is grounded over to short, and Tillian fields it. His throw in time for the out. Beat him by a step. Toledo retired a 1-2-3 inning worked by Owen Poole. We go to stretch time here at Crusher Stadium in Avon, Ohio. Toledo leading the Falcons 14-3. You're listening to BGSU Baseball MAC Tournament action on Falcon Radio.
Hey, I'm Lucas Kleinmeyer, and you are listening to a presentation of the Falcon Media Sports Network on Falcon Radio. For Falcons, by Falcons.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU Student Media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
My name is Jamal Johnson, number 6, running back in the senior, and here are my Falcon 4 favorite candies. First, we have Skittles, Sour Patch Kids, Reese's Pieces, and Hershey Kisses. And these are my favorite because when you're at Halloween and you dump out that bag, these are the best Halloween candies to pull out. So those are my favorites.
(14-11), Toledo's lead as we head to the bottom of the 7th here in Avon, Ohio. Bowling Green looking to mount a comeback, and Logan Jones still out there on the mound for the Rockets. He will face 2, 3, 4 in the order for Bowling Green: Garrett Wright, Brady Birchmeyer, and Zach Horkey.
This is another very advantageous part for Bowling Green of their lineup. You've got your best batter on the team, reigning MAC Defensive Player of the Year, Garrett Wright. Arguably your strongest and one of your most reliable in Birchmeyer and Horkey.
Garrett Wright hit by the first pitch of the at-bat. No surprise to anyone that knows BGSU baseball and Garrett Wright. For Wright, his second hit by pitch of the day, and his 26th hit by pitch of the season. Base runner on for Bowling Green, and that'll bring up Brady Birchmeyer.
Birchmeyer with the RBI double in his last appearance, that one in the bottom of the 5th.
Big swing and miss by Birchmeyer on the first pitch. Birchmeyer, the only extra base hit so far today. One of just 2 extra base hits for Bowling Green so far today. Caden Parker also had the double. The only run-scoring extra base hit for the Falcons belongs to Brady Birchmeyer. And he seems to be getting very close to that midseason form that we saw. He's working his way towards it just like Sam Seidel. He looks at a strike, down in the count 0-2. There was a pickoff attempt in between those pitches over to first. Right back in safely. Garrett Wright on the season, 6 for 8 on stolen bases. Have not seen him run, and quite a bit, though, on the base paths. And wouldn't expect you to see him going, as that's a close pickoff attempt right back safely. Wouldn't expect to see him going in a game you're trailing by 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Bowling Green with just 9 outs remaining. They do have that home team advantage as they're the higher seed, so they will have the last at-bats in this game. As another pickoff attempt, 3rd of the at-bat, if we were in Major League Baseball, Garrett Wright would have a free trip to second base.
Do you ever think they'll adapt that rule for college?
That's a good question. I could definitely see it. I could see that. The next pitch misses inside for a ball. It's just tougher in college because the governing body's a lot weaker. The NCAA has a lot less power than the commissioner of baseball does. But I could definitely see something like that being instituted. We'll have to wait and see on it. Another pickoff attempt, the 4th of the at-bat. Scrambling back in safely on his feet is Garrett Wright. No dive on that one. A 1-2 count on Brady Birchmeyer. Logan Jones' next pitch popped up by Birchmeyer. Infield. First baseman Cahill makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
So next up is Zach Horkey. He has yet to record a hit today. He's got 1 strikeout, 2 flyouts, and a walk. But maybe there's a little bit of a catcher connection there that could come in handy to help push Wright past home plate.
Logan Jones looking in. Comes set. His first pitch, and before we get a first pitch to Zach Horkey, a pickoff attempt, why not? 5th pickoff attempt of the inning, trying to get Garrett Wright, unsuccessful. We'll see if Zach Horkey sees a pitch here. Jones delivers. Horkey a swing and a miss.
A big swing and a miss as he put his all in that swing. You can sense a little bit of that big play energy coming from Bowling Green. They just want to get it all back in one swing, and that just can't happen.
Pickoff attempt, 6th to the inning to Garrett Wright, back in safely. At what point do you just stop?
Maybe Jones has an itch. I don't know. Maybe he just has a feeling that he can catch Wright sleeping one of these days.
Wright not even attempting to get a very big secondary lead as there's a swing and a miss by Horkey. Back-to-back swings and misses by the Bowling Green right fielder. He's down in the count 0-2. Logan Jones, deep breath, next pitch, down low, outside for a ball. 1-2 the new count on Horkey.
This is very similar to what we saw with Brady Birchmeyer. 2 strikes in a row, and then he struggles with a ball right below the belt line.
It was a good throwaway pitch as another pickoff attempt over to first. Back in safely is Wright. 7 pickoff attempts and 2 at-bats on Garrett Wright. All of them unsuccessful. Wright has not attempted to steal yet. Does not go in this pitch that's fouled off at the plate by Zach Horkey. Bowling Green looking to jumpstart this offense once again. They scored 5 in the first, 2 in the second, 4 in the 5th. They trail it 14-11. Toledo scored 9 in the second, 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th.
And Tyler, you have to look at the facts of the game too.
As Zach Horkey swings and misses. Down on strikes is Horkey for the second time today. And there's 2 outs in the inning. Sam Seidel coming to the plate. Seidel does not have a hit today. He's 0 for 3 with a walk.
I mean, if you're Bowling Green, you hold the Rockets scoreless in the 7th. That's an opportunity you haven't had since the 3rd and 4th innings. That's 2 straight innings you've allowed scores, so you have to cash in here with a runner on.
First pitch to Sam Seidel, a swing and a miss. A lot of swings and misses by this Bowling Green team over the past couple of innings.
Let's see if Bowling Green can catch the 2-out bug that the Rockets seem to thrive on.
The next pitch to Seidel, down low for a ball. Well, if you remember, they scored 4 runs in the 5th with 2 outs. 3 straight singles and a double, all driving in a run apiece by Garrett Sloan, Gunnar Antillion, Garrett Wright, and Brady Birchmeyer a few innings ago. A 1-1 count on Sam Seidel. The next pitch, this one lined into right field, that gets down. Advancing from second to third is Garrett Wright. And we have runners on the corners for Bowling Green with 2 outs. And Gavin Gannon, the game-tying run, coming to the plate.
That is what we expected to see out of Sam Seidel. You've got 2 of the best on-base players at the top of their game. When they're at the top of their game in the terms of Wright and Seidel, now both of them stand on with Gavin Gannon. And I've been saying it, Gannon has power. He struggles with the strikeouts, but any contact here would shrink the lead of the Rockets to 2.
First pitch to Gavin Gannon, in there for a strike.
You can see Gannon trying to get a feel of Jones a little bit, as Jones has been favoring the inside.
All it takes from Gannon is one swing of the bat, and we could have a tie ball game. Logan Jones's next pitch to Gannon instead of pickoff attempt to first. Is that 8 pickoff attempts this inning now? I think I've lost count.
No, I think you're right.
8?
I think that is
okay.
8. It's either 7 or 8.
I think there were 7 on Garrett. We're nearing double-digit pickoff attempts this inning by Logan Jones. Need a little tracker for that as well. His next pitch to Gannon. Check swing. Gannon held up. Peeled down to first base umpire Michael Schultz. From here, it looked 50-50. But Gannon held up, so it's a 1-1 count.
Maybe a bit of fresh air now for Bowling Green. You don't go in a 1-2 count. You go at 1-1, which could impact the decision-making of Gannon here a bit.
The next pitch from Jones, down low for a ball. Logan Jones has struggled with control in this outing. He's left the door open for Bowling Green to capitalize. They left 3 runners on base last inning, looking to avoid leaving 2 on this inning. The pitch. In there for a strike. 2-2 on Gavin Gannon. Said it last inning. We'll say it again. Arguably the biggest pitch of the game upcoming if you're Bowling Green.
And you have a hot batter in the form of Caden Parker on deck. If you can get Gannon on, bases loaded.
Runner off. This one down low for a ball. So stealing second is Sam Seidel. So now 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs. And it's a full count, 3-2. Logan Jones comes set. His pitch. Swing and a miss by Gannon. For the second straight inning, Jones gets a strikeout to get out of it. Bases loaded last inning. Runner on second and third this inning. 5 stranded over the past 2 frames for the Falcons. They still trail Toledo 14-11 as we head to the top of the 8th. Here at Crusher Stadium in Avon, Ohio, you are listening to BGSU Baseball MAC Tournament action on Falcon Radio.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Remember, always be generous with the nutmeg. Just eyeball it.
Okay.
Mom's wisdom has served you well, but now it may be your turn to guide her.
Hey, I'm worried about Mom. She keeps forgetting her famous sweet potato pie recipe.
Some things come with age, sis.
And some don't.
Knowing the early signs of Alzheimer's in a loved one will help you make the best decisions for your family. Visit 10signs.org to learn the signs. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Well, Bowling Green has had terrific scoring opportunities the past 2 innings. They've had a chance to tie the game in back-to-back frames here in Avon, and they have scored 0 runs and left 5 runners on base. Tyler Kavlitz alongside Chaz McNeil for the Falcon Media Sports Network. Chaz, just missed opportunities for the Falcons over the past 2 innings. We'll look back at the rain delay as a lot of this game. How much did that affect this game? How much did playing those first 2 innings affect this game? But you also have to look at these 6th and 7th frames for Bowling Green. Just major offensive missed opportunities.
I mean, think of it this way. If they decide to not play the game if they decide to stop the game at the end of the 5th, or, the end of the 1st when Bowling Green had 5 runs, you go into the 2nd, 7 hours later, up 5-0. Instead, they end it at the end of the 2nd, which means you're 2 runs down. There's so much back and forth that you could argue about. So it really does become an argument of, was it the right decision by the MAC? And I really don't think we're going to know for a while because both of these teams have yet to play their second games.
Pinch hitter here for Toledo. It's J.P. Wagner in for Trey Mariano. So Wagner, who we saw in every BG Toledo game this season, gets an at-bat. Mariano did not have a hit today. He was 0 for 3 with a walk. The pitch to Wagner. Catches the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to 1-1 on J.P. Wagner. Owen Poole still on the mound. His next pitch just misses down low for a ball.
And that one was framed well by Cooper McKenzie. Just a bit low and outside for ball number 2.
The next pitch catches the zone that time, 2-2. Wagner, just a sophomore from Toledo. Only hitting 182 this year in 24 games and 18 starts. The next pitch, chopped over to the left side of the infield. Sloan jumps up to grab it. His throw, a nice pick from Birchmeyer. They got him. A nice play by Garrett Sloan and Brady Birchmeyer for the first out of the inning.
And up comes Luke Walton. And Tyler, it's crunch time again for Bowling Green. The Rockets down to their last 5 outs, and you're only down 3. In the grand scheme of baseball, in the game that we've currently had, they have been able to score. They've been able to get the offense going, but if you can shut down the Rocket offense back-to-back, your offense for the Orange and Brown has to shine.
Owen Pole's first pitch to Luke Walton. Misses for a ball. Pole looking to keep this deficit for Bowling Green at 3. Keep Toledo from extending this lead. That's his objective on the mound currently. 2 straight balls to begin the at-bat to Luke Walton. Skies really cleared up here at Avon. A lot lighter. And clouds moving out of the area. The next pitch also misses for a ball, 3-0. Do expect to still have a few more pockets of rain, but nothing terribly hard, I don't think, is in the future. Seems like the worst is past us, as it's a 4-pitch walk to Luke Walton from Owen Poole, and that'll bring up Braden White, who is 1 for 3 with a walk today.
I mean, with all things being said, I believe that this has been a pretty well-managed bullpen for Bowling Green. You go through 1 pitcher in 2 innings, and yes, you give up the 9 runs with all those walks, but I mean, at this point, we have to scratch those away because of the conditions. Both teams, this would not be the score if the rain was not coming down like it did. And now,
I mean, if you just look at the score past that first 2 innings, is this one grounded to the left side? That's going to be a fair ball off the glove of Sloan at third. And that's going to be disaster for Bowling Green. As moving into second is Braden White. It's going to be runners on second and third with just 1 out. That one was right down the line, went off of Sloan's glove in fair territory, and went all the way to the Bowling Green bullpen. Bad break there for the Falcons. Tremendous break for Toledo. We'll see how that is ruled. It'll be a double for Braden White.
Sloan also stretching himself a little bit, looking like he might be in a little discomfort after that sliding play.
First pitch to the at-bat to Caleb Herbert is in there for a strike. Herbert, a hat trick of the wrong kind. He's struck out in 3 straight at-bats. The next pitch is fouled off at the plate, so a quick 0-2 count on Caleb Herbert.
This is where, if you're Bowling Green, you need Owen Poole to just find the zone one more time, get that second out, and live off the confidence for one more batter.
The next pitch, swing and a miss by Herbert. What a tough day for Caleb Herbert at the plate, down on strikes in 4 straight at-bats. And this is something that's kind of uncharacteristic for Herbert, Chaz. You look at Herbert's numbers, and he, coming into the game, only had 20 strikeouts in 33 games and 110 at-bats. And he add 4 today alone to that total. Just a rough day at the dish for Herbert. And that brings up Caden Konzak. He looks at a first pitch ball. Control starting to waver for Owen Poole, especially early in these at-bats. Did a nice job against Herbert, but he struggled in the Walton and the White at-bats. Looking to regain himself as this one's fouled down the right field line by Konzak. Troy Sudbrook awaits on deck if Konzak can reach with 2 outs. Toledo with runners on second and third in the form of White at second and Walton on third. Looking to extend this 3-run advantage over their rivals Bowling Green. They lead at 14-11. The Rockets have out-hit the Falcons 12-8. The next pitch from Poole bounced at the dish. 2-1 the count on Konzak now.
That ball gets away from McKenzie there, and he's slipping and sliding to get a grip of that ball. With the turf becoming evident, it's not
slick.
a solid traction there.
It's slick for sure from everything that we've seen. The 2-1 pitch just misses for a ball. 3-1. Owen Poole's pitch fouled off at the plate.
And then again, Cooper McKenzie slipping as that ball is foul tipped in front of home plate. He runs up to get it and loses. It looked like traction in both feet.
And now he's going to try to wipe him off there on that turf to try to get some extra grip. Full count now with 2 outs. Owen Poole's pitch to Caden Konzak. Up the middle, into the glove of Poole. He drops it, regains it, throws it to first for the final out of the inning. So Toledo strands 2. It stays at 14-11. Toledo lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Bowling Green down to their final 6 outs. Here in Avon, you're listening to BGSU MAC Tournament action on Falcon Radio. In Bowling Green football's 41-17 season opening victory over Fordham on August 29th, junior Justin Pace set a program record with a 100-yard kickoff return touchdown on the first play of the game. Falcon Media Sports Network's Reese Patricus had the call on Falcon Radio.
Go back up and field it on the goal line. Trying to take it to the right, got some blocks, got a hole. Peg was down the far sideline, and he's got space in front of him. 10, 5, touchdown BG brings back the opening kickoff. What a way to start the season.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call. Bowling Green down to their final 6 outs here in Avon, Ohio. They trail their rivals Toledo 14-11 in this first round matchup. Still Logan Jones out there in the mound for the Rockets. Bowling Green has had tremendous scoring opportunities in back-to-back innings. They have left 5 runners on base. For the Falcons due up, it'll be Caden Parker, Cooper McKenzie, Garrett Sloan, and then top of the order. This is Bowling Green's opportunity here. You need to see something out of the Falcons in this inning, most likely, if Bowling Green's going to get a win in this first round matchup, because it's going to be tough if you have to get a 3-run rally going with the middle of the order in the 9th.
And you don't need to get it all back right here if you're Bowling Green. But I agree with you, Tyler.
I think you need at least 2 if you're Bowling Green.
I'd say if you get anything on the board, that is good enough for
That
momentum.
too.
But then you'd require a shutout at the end of the 9th.
First pitch to Caden Parker is in there for a strike. The next pitch from Jones, a swing and a miss. A quick 0-2 count on Caden Parker. Parker had a double his last time up. He's had a hit in each of his past 2 at-bats, that double and a single. The next pitch from Jones is grounded over to third, going to be fielded cleanly by Sudbrook. His throw across the diamond on a bounce, just in time, retires Caden Parker for the first out of the inning. Bowling Green down to 5 outs.
And Tyler, I think your opinion is aging like fine wine currently, as now you have McKenzie and Sloan, who have combined for 2 RBIs and just 1 hit with 1 strikeout, 2 flyouts, a walk, a hit by pitch, and a ground out. That bottom lineup of the order has not been the strongest, and you need them to come out big here. So they need results, and they need them quickly.
Do indeed. Coop McKenzie looks at a first pitch ball. Time is running out for Bowling Green. A swing and a miss by McKenzie. Count goes even at 1-1. And Logan Jones looks comfortable on the mound right now. He looks like he has settled in against these Falcons. His next pitch to Coop McKenzie. Down in the turf for a ball. There is an arm up in the Toledo bullpen and the Bowling Green bullpen. None of them throwing actively, just kind of wandering around. The 2-1 pitch to McKenzie. Skied up in the infield. It's going to be playable. Sudbrook at third settles under it, makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Bowling Green down to their final 4 outs. And time just continues to run out a little faster here for Bowling Green.
And now you do have Antillian Wright Birchmeyer if this were to be the final out, but you do not.
The problem here for Bowling Green is you wanted them up with runners on.
Yep.
And you're in a situation now where the most runners you can get on before you get to Gunnar Antillian is a batter up right now on Garrett Sloan. He looks at a first pitch ball. This is almost the situation you would love to keep this inning going, but you'd almost like to have those top 3 up with nobody out instead of them up with 2 out.
Yeah, because then you burn them.
Not that you tell Garrett Sloan to get out here, but I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world if you could hold Toledo scoreless in the 9th. That's a big if. 2-0 count to Sloan, now fouls this one to the back. Either way, however they do it, Bowling Green just needs to find a way to get 3 runs. Can the Cardiac Birds do it once again? 2-1 pitch to Sloan, misses for a ball. 3-1 the count on the sophomore third baseman for Bowling Green.
Honestly, Tyler, in this situation, if Sloan gets on, you might want Antillian to cash him in any way he can.
Yeah. A strike thrown in there, and we now have a full count with 2 outs on Sloan. The pitch from Jones is chopped over to third but foul. Sudbrook has made both outs so far this inning, a ground out and a pop out.
As I was saying, Tyler, you might want Sloan to get on base, have Antillian bring him in, and then almost just want him to get tagged out so you open up with Wright. Then you have Birchmeyer right behind. Obviously, it would be ridiculous to even try that, but you see what I'm saying with the.
Yeah, I don't think head coach Kyle Halleck and the Falcons are thinking too much about how they're going to score, what order they're going to score runs in. rather than just finding a way to score runs. 3-2. Still the count. Logan Jones taking his time, now delivering. The pitch is grounded over to third. Sudbrook feels it. And Troy Sudbrook, he does not make the out. I was going to say he makes all 3 outs in the inning, but that one was dropped by Cahill at first. That's more than likely going to be a fielding error on Cole Cahill. And reaching safely is Garrett Sloan. So just like that, when you thought the inning was over, Bowling Green with some life here, but we do have an umpire meeting just in front of the mound. The question is, did Cole Cahill pick up that ball in time to have his foot on the bag for Garrett Sloan to be out? And we are going to an umpire review. So we will take a quick break here, see if Garrett Sloan is safe or out at first. You're listening to BGSU Baseball MAC Tournament Action on Falcon Radio.
Hey, I'm Lucas Kleinmeyer, and you are listening to a presentation of the Falcon Media Sports Network on Falcon Radio. For Falcons, by Falcons.
Many Americans have missed regular dental care in the past few years. It's important to see a dentist twice a year to identify any problems early. Taking care of your oral health helps overall health. Brushing at least twice a day with fluoride toothpaste and flossing daily can help prevent oral health problems. For more information, visit hrsa.gov/oral-health.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is, my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad.
Tyler Kavlitz and Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network back with you here from Avon at the MAC tournament. Umpires still reviewing this play at first. See if Cole Cahill had his foot on the bag after dropping the ball. And see if Garrett Sloan is safe or out. What's called safe on the field. If he's safe, it will continue the bottom of the 8th for Bowling Green with 2 outs. If he's out, of course, would mark the end of this 8th inning. We'd go to the top of the 9th. Toledo still clinging on to a 3-run advantage, 14-11. Umpires down the left field line have a monitor there with the ESPN Plus feed, looking at the broadcast.
Taking a very long look at it.
They are. We've seen a couple quick reviews so far during this tournament. This one, an extremely long review. They're still looking at it.
Only 2 umpires took the trip to look. We've seen in a couple other reviews, it's sometimes 3, sometimes it's the whole crew, but this time just 2.
Umpires still looking at it.
The ones that took the trip are home plate umpire Jay Myers and third base Stephen Linton.
And Myers and Linton still looking at that monitor. And this is all we're clinging on right now. And I believe they are wrapping up here. They're going to come back to the field. They'll make their call once they get close to the infield. We'll see what they've settled on. Usually they jog back. They're taking a good old time walking back to the infield.
You would assume no chance.
Here we go. Here's the jog. Jay Myers getting the jog on, coming to the infield. We'll see the signal.
What do you think the Jay Myers 40-yard time is?
Not fast based off this. He's making it dramatic. Halfway down the third base line, he's going to signal out. So, Cahill got his foot back on the bag in time. And Garrett Sloan is out. Bowling Green's down to their final 3 outs of this one. All the energy and momentum on the Toledo side. We go to the top of the 9th. Toledo leads Bowling Green 14-11 on Falcon Radio.
We are the boy band. Your tween made you see. We are the boy band. It's Painful Concert number 3. We are the boy band. We're 5 and 19. We are the boy band. Always singing on key.
You love your kids enough to take them to see their favorite band. Love them enough to make sure they're buckled up in the back seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This hour of Falcon Radio's Gabriel programming is brought to you by Mackenzie's Flower Basket, a local florist and flower shop providing flower delivery in Bowling Green, Ohio.
Prepare to embark on a musical journey of celebration and inclusivity with Falcon Radio's Gabriel event. Throughout this month-long extravaganza, we'll be spotlighting LGBTQIA+ artists and their unforgettable tunes. Join us as we honor the power of music to unite and inspire. Falcon Radio's Gabriel, because every note tells a story of courage and acceptance.
Tyler Kamlitz and Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network back here in Avon. And Chaz, Bowling Green down to their final 3 outs of this game. But before they come up to bat again, Toledo's going to have one more crack at it to extend their lead here in the top of the 9th. Owen Poole is still on the mound for the Falcons, and it'll be 3, 4, 5 in the order. Due up for the Rockets, Troy Sudbrook, who was a part of all 3 outs in that last half inning. And then Charlie Shulvin, the overall best hitter on this Rockets team, along with Cole Cahill.
Yeah, Tyler, this is a really tough draw. You have the move there by Jay Myers taking his sweet time to announce the out. And now you're in a part of the lineup that has combined for 2 singles, actually 4 singles, if you go all the way down to Cahill as well. This is a hard-hitting order.
First pitch from Poole to Sudbrook. Misses for a ball. His next delivery. Just low for a ball. The frame by Cooper McKenzie. Couldn't get it called. It's been a strict tight zone by Jay Myers all game long. Give credit to him. He's been consistent. 2-0 the count. This one down low and inside for a ball of 3-0. We are at desperation time for Bowling Green on both sides of the ball. You cannot allow Toledo to score anymore. Toledo, on the other hand, looking to ice it here in the 9th. Fastball down the middle for a strike by Poole. Bowling Green, when they come up to bat in the bottom of the 9th, will have top of the order to try and make a comeback. The pitch by Poole. Swung on. Out to left field, fairly deep. Going back and making the catch is Caden Parker for the first out of the inning.
That's a good start for Bowling Green. A lot of contact. That one was squared up very well by Sudbrook, but not enough mustard on that one to send it over the wall, which puts Toledo to their 2 final outs, barring a Falcons tying it up moment here. That's the one thing we haven't really talked about. 3 runs just sends it to extra innings.
Yeah.
4, you would need to ice it.
Charlie Shulvin into the box for the Rockets. First pitch from Owen Poole to Toledo's arguably best hitter. And a swing and a miss by Shulvin. Charlie Shulvin today has 1 hit, a single. He has grounded out, flown out, struck out, and also been hit by a pitch. A little bit of everything for Shulvin as he looks at a ball. Not exactly sure where that one missed, but didn't miss by much. Count moves to 1-1. 1 out in the top of the 9th. Toledo leads Bowling Green 14-11 in Avon. This one chopped over to the left side, and Tillian Fields on the backhand. Throw across the diamond on the turf. Not going to be nearly enough time. Was not able to muster enough on that cross diamond throw. Jeter-like play he was attempting, but reaching safely on the infield single is Charlie Shulvin, his second hit of the day. And it brings up Cole Cahill, who has 2 hits on his day, 2 singles. He's also walked twice and grounded out.
That now also schedules Lido to come up. Luke Lido, who had that 2 RBI triple. That's another strong bat you don't want to see again.
First pitch from Poole in there for a strike. To Cole Cahill. Cahill, the center of that review. Last half inning of whether he kept his foot on the bag or not after dropping the throw from Sudbrook. It was ruled that he did keep his foot on the bag for the final out of that bottom of the 8th to retire Garrett Sloan. The next pitch misses inside for a ball, brushing Cahill off of the plate. Cahill, a left-handed batter. Owen Poole comes set again. His next pitch is chopped up the middle, double play ball possibly, but Sam Seidel falls down as he moves over to it. I'm not sure if that was him slipping on the turf or if that was him getting tripped by his own legs, but he falls down as he attempts to field that ball and flip it to Gunnar Antillion to turn 2, and both runners are safe.
That really was the go-to double play there. That was hit right at Sam Seidel, and he just can't get down. Or he can get down, but he can't get back up quick enough to flip the ball.
It is going to be an error on Sam Seidel, and I got to say, Sam Seidel has been progressing at the plate. I think his fielding may be the most rusty part of his game at this point. Just some of these plays that would be routine to him when he was at his peak this season and mid-season form, just he's struggled with a little bit. He's been a step behind on a few of them, and I think that's just from the lack of reps. You got to think, with his injury, it was an arm injury, preventing him from getting reps like this. He was in a sling for a few weeks there, so just not getting these reps in these situations has really hurt Sam Seidel in the field.
Yeah, Tyler, you're right. That calms down your hands, your arms. You kind of lose that muscle memory for a second when you're in a cast.
You're not as comfortable with it. Foul tip there by Lido at the plate. Count goes to 1-2. Sam Seidel, when he's his best, makes the extraordinary plays look routine. One of the better defensive second basemen, but he has had his fielding miscues since coming back from injury. The pitch from Poole, this one lined deep center field, going back is right, makes the catch on the run for the second out of the inning, but advancing from second to third is Chauvin. And boy, if you're Bowling Green, with J.P. Wagner coming to the plate, a hitter who has really struggled this season. And when I say struggling, I mean J.P. Wagner is batting 182 below the Mendoza line. You cannot allow that run from third base to score and make it a 4-run disadvantage going into your final 3 outs in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah, Tyler, you're right about that one. If Bowling Green,
I wouldn't be shocked to see here a mound visit from head coach Kyle Halleck. I don't think we're getting one. And we will not get one. So Owen Poole going to pitch. First pitch, misses for a ball.
And you want to force Wagner to swing with the type of batter that he is. You want to put it in a position where he's going to want to bite, which is how his batting usually goes. Where if you end up walking him, you load the bases to send up Luke Walton, who had a home run.
The pitch from Poole is popped up foul. Above us. Chaz, no chance to make a play on that one.
I'm running out of time, Tyler.
You are. We don't have the window open here either because of the rain. Your options even more limited. 1-1 the count. The next pitch from Poole down low. 2-1 the new count. Crunch time in this one. Top of the 9th, 2 outs. Toledo lead 14-11. Runners on the corners. 2-1 pitch from Owen Poole to J.P. Wagner. Line foul to the left side. We'll do it at 2-2. This would be a huge out. Give a little bit of momentum for Bowling Green. Toledo has not scored in back-to-back innings since the 6th. Looking to make it 3 straight scoreless innings. The pitch from Poole, a swing and a miss at the plate. A huge out for Bowling Green. And it stays a 14-11 Toledo lead going into the bottom of the 9th. We'll see if this Bowling Green team has any more gas left in it at the plate. They trail by 3 with their final 3 outs coming up. You're listening to BGSU Baseball MAC Tournament action on Falcon Radio. Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU Student Media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com. The new pitcher for Toledo is R.J. Shunk. He is arguably their best left-handed arm out of the bullpen. And he will face the top of the order for Bowling Green as they look to come back in this one to win. They're down 14-11 currently. Shunk is 6'7". He's a junior. 2-2 with a 3.63 ERA. 39 strikeouts in 34 2/3 innings pitched. He's held opponents to a 226 batting average, Chaz, and he's only given up 8 extra base hits all season long.
Yeah, Tyler, this is a guy that you bring in for Toledo to shut down Bowling Green. He needs 3 outs. He is going to get his 3 outs. That's the mindset of Reinstedel for the Rockets.
And he had 1 appearance against Bowling Green earlier this season. It was at Scott Park. He threw 2 innings, gave up a hit, did not allow a run. Walked a batter, struck out 2, threw 29 pitches to 7 hitters. But this is the part of the order that you want up if you're Bowling Green. Gunnar Antillion, Garrett Wright, Brady Birchmeyer. The 3 due up on the docket for the Falcons. Your 3 best hitters in the order. R.J. Shunk will pitch to Gunnar Antillion to begin the inning. Remember, if the Falcons lose this first game, they play the next one today, 45 minutes after the conclusion of this contest. If they win, they will play Miami of Ohio tomorrow afternoon. First pitch ball to Gunnar Antillion. The next delivery from Shunk is up high and outside, so a little bit of wild control from Shunk to begin the at-bat. Still early.
I'll also say this, Tyler. I think these pitchers, we've seen it on both sides, struggle with early outing control, and I think that's due to this rain. I think they're really struggling in these conditions, but then when they get settled, they kind of get used to it.
The next pitch, miss it up high, bunt shown by Antillion for a ball. And you wonder, does that footing affect it on the mound coming in? Are you taking a little bit off, or you let your elbow dip, missing up high? A lot of factors going into it. 3-0 the count on Gunnar Antillion. We'll see if he's tank all the way. The pitch is high. A 4-pitch walk to Gunnar Antillion to begin the inning.
That puts it just one step closer, Tyler. That's what you need. You got to get on base in any way possible, and that brings up Garrett Wright. We need to see something out of Garrett Wright if you're Bowling Green. He has 1 hit today. He's been plunked twice, but besides that, a ground out and a strikeout. Garrett Wright, as the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, needs to advance his base runner.
All-MAC first-team honoree and All-MAC defensive team honoree as well for the 2nd straight season. Pitch misses up high and outside. 5 straight balls by R.J. Shunk into this game. A rude welcome for Shunk. R.J. Shunk's next pitch to Garrett Wright. The left-hander finds the zone. 1-1. The count on arguably one of the best catchers in the country in Garrett Wright. Leads all catchers in the country in batting average and on base percentage. The 1-1 pitch to Wright, a swing and a miss. Just a bit late on the heater there from R.J. Shunk. And now it's a 1-2 count on Garrett Wright. Shunk comes set. His pitch to Wright. Fouled off at the plate. Wright just got a piece of that one. He's been a little late on back-to-back heaters by R.J. Shunk up high in the zone.
And for Falcon fans, it's a good thing that Wright did get a piece of that because that ball was way too high to be called a ball or to be called a strike, but he swung on it. So to keep the foul up and keep himself alive is right.
The pitch misses high. Nice take by Garrett Wright. Count goes even to 2-2. Brady Birchmeyer awaiting on deck. Still nobody out, bottom of the ninth. Bowling Green down to their final 3 outs in this first round game of the MAC tournament. Falcons the 4 seed, Rockets the 5 seed. Bowling Green trails by 3, 14-11. The pitch from Shunk. Fouled off by Garrett Wright. Wright, again, one of the toughest guys to strike out in the MAC.
This is where the mind game and the battling begins here, Tyler, because you're going up against Shunk, who's a great closer, but he's going up against a phenomenal batter as well.
Shunk comes set. The pitch is lined by Wright towards center field, and that's going to be caught by the center fielder, Toledo. He chased that towards the flagpole and made the catch right before the warning track. And he said he wanted to see something out of Garrett Wright. Flies out there for the first out of the inning. Bowling Green down to their final 2 outs. They need 3 runs to keep the game alive. Brady Birchmeyer up to the plate with a runner on.
It was a great shot by Garrett Wright. It was a great opportunity. And if that ball carries a little bit more, that is over the fence. It's hard hit. That ball was very hard hit, but ends up falling short. Great fielding by Luke Lido. That brings us to 1 out.
First pitch to Brady Birchmeyer. Finds the zone for a strike. After Birchmeyer, we go to Zach Horkey. The hope was you would have Brady Birchmeyer up to the plate with a chance to tie it with 2 runners on, and Antillion and Wright. Instead, only Gunnar Antillion stands at first. And now Birchmeyer fouls this next pitch off to the right side. Quickly down in an 0-2 count. Birchmeyer 2 hits on the day. He's 2 for 4. A single, a double, 3 runs batted in, a ground out, a pop out, and a walk. Looking to continue his strong day. Shunk, deep breath. The big lefty's delivery. Up high for a ball.
And Birchmeyer, with how Gannon has been playing so far, like we mentioned, I'd go to say he's your strongest guy. He's the most reliable to line something, make it hard to field. And now this is arguably your best opportunity. You've got to get a run.
The next pitch, down and outside for a ball. 2-2. Birchmeyer, a very sneaky, patient hitter. He'll wait for his pitch. Bowling Green's going to need some magic here in the bottom of the ninth. Do they have any left? The 2-2 delivery from Shunk. Up high, ball 3. Full count on Brady Birchmeyer.
And that would also be huge in terms of what we've seen so far, because if Birchmeyer walks, Zach Horkey has yet to record a hit. And then you have Sam Seidel who's coming off of a hit, so that would near guarantee Seidel an appearance.
The pitch from Shunk, grounded over to second. That's going to be fielded by Herbert. His throw to first in time. And there's 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Advancing to second safely is Gunnar Antillion. But Bowling Green in deep trouble now. You have 1 runner in scoring position. Zach Horkey at the plate. 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. And you need 3 runs. Desperation time has officially come for the Falcons. The orange and brown with their backs up against the wall. Sam Seidel on deck if Zach Horkey can reach. R.J. Shunk's first pitch to Zach Horkey. Bunt shown by Horkey, pulled back. That's interesting.
Especially since we've seen the arm of White.
Left side of the infield going to play back. No one is playing up. Do you bunt it if you're Horkey? We'll see if he shows it. He shows it again. Horkey pulls it back. It misses for a ball.
And sprinting forward was Sudbrook, who was playing in shallow outfield.
Boy, would this be an interesting strategy. And now Toledo going to go to a mound visit. Zach Corky showing bunt. First 2 pitches of the at-bat, down to their final out and down by 3 runs. Quick mound visit by Toledo's pitching coach. It's a 2-0 count on Horkey at the plate. And Seidel does have pop if he can get on as the game-tying run. If Horkey reaches. Seidel has 5 home runs on the year. We saw him hit a homer in the last game of the regular season at Stellar. Horkey steps back into the box. We'll see if he shows bunt again. It's a 2-0 count. Horkey shows it. Pulls it back. Misses for a ball. 3-0.
This is ridiculous.
Horkey is playing a dangerous game at the plate. This is the Kyle Halleck small ball special. Does Zach Horkey show it in the 3-0 count? He does. Pulls it back. Ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to Zach Horkey. And Sam Seidel, the game-tying run, comes to the plate with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th.
And we saw him do it in the most recent game the Falcons played versus Northern Illinois last Sunday. So a very large opportunity if you're Bowling Green to just get anything going. And Sam Seidel is coming off of his only hit of the day.
First pitch from Shunk to Seidel. Misses for a ball. Bowling Green with a chance in the bottom of the 9th. Can they capitalize? Do they have magic left? Can the Cardiac Birds rise once again? A check swing by Seidel. It's in there for a strike. A team that has battled through injuries all season long. Come back from deficit after deficit throughout the season. Do they have one more in them? Pitch to Seidel, flies it out, weakly right field. Coming in is Konzak. It's going to settle in front of him. Scoring is Antillion. It's a 2-run ball game. Runners on first and third. And now Gavin Gannon comes to the plate as the possible game-winning run.
What a storyline that would be, Tyler. Gavin Gannon, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, game winner. There's still a lot left in this game. And what you need, if you're Bowling Green, is to calm down your senior.
And Kyle Halleck's going to meet with Gavin Gannon. Sam Seidel tries to come in to meet. Halleck waves him off. Horkey tries to come in to meet in the meeting. Halleck waves him off. It's a conversation between Kyle Halleck, Matt Remblak, and Gavin Gannon. Gannon, a veteran for this Falcons team. Can he be the hero for the orange and brown?
And wouldn't this be storybook for the senior? What might be his last game in the MAC tournament.
The first pitch to Gavin Gannon in there for a strike. Zach Corky stands on third. It's a 2-run ball game, 14-12. The run that really matters is Sam Seidel on first. He would be the game-tying run. Gannon at the plate is the game-winning run. 1 out remaining for the Falcons. Another strike thrown in by Shunk. On the inside corner of the plate, Gannon didn't like that call. He has a few words for Jay Myers. Gannon has to be a little careful there at the plate. 0-2 count now on Gavin Gannon. R.J. Shunk's pitch, runner off, swing and a miss. Bowling Green's comeback falls short. Toledo stays red hot, and they move in the advance in the winner's bracket. Bowling Green falls to the loser's bracket. The Falcons will play Eastern Michigan in an elimination game in around 45 minutes from now here in Avon. So we will take a quick break and come back to recap this one for you. You're listening to BGSU Baseball MAC Tournament Action on Falcon Radio. Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU Student Media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
My daughter's Aspen. She has stage 4 neuroblastoma. St. Jude is like, it saved us. The financial help given here goes a long way. The research helps, not just here, it reaches the whole world. And St. Jude is a gift. I just want to say thank you.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Bowling Green drops the first game of the MAC tournament. They lose to Toledo 14-12. The Rockets out-hit the Falcons 13-9. Tyler Cavlitz alongside Chaz McNeil from the Falcon Media Sports Network. And Chaz, Bowling Green's up against it now. You have a team that is still injury-riddled. They're still thin, and they now cannot lose another game the rest of this tournament if they want to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. And they will now have another game today, an elimination game against Eastern Michigan.
Eastern Michigan, who are rested, might I add. Bowling Green, who are not, but Bowling Green, who are fresh. So there's a lot different aspects that we can take out of this. The one thing that I do want to point out is Bowling Green was not short of opportunities. You could go and argue that 9-run Jacob Turner second inning might have been what cost them the game. No, they had the game-winning run in Gavin Gannon at the plate.
Let's stick with that for a second because you go back to the 6th inning. You have the bases loaded with 2 outs. Gunnar Antillion at the plate. He strikes out to end the inning. And then you go to the 7th inning. You have runners on 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs again. And Gavin Gannon strikes out to end the inning. And then, like you mentioned, the 9th inning, runner on 1st and 3rd, tying runner at first, game-winning run at home and Gannon, and he strikes out swinging. It just missed opportunities in 3 of the final 4 innings for Bowling Green. We can talk about the rain as much as we want. That was a huge factor in this game. You allow 9 runs in an inning that probably shouldn't have been played when it was. Yeah, that's going to impact you, but so will the rest of this game. They had a chance to win it. They were trailing 2-0 from the start, and, I mean, it's hard to avoid that rain the more you look at it. You get outscored in those 2 innings in the conditions, and you lose by 2, but the point is still there that they had the opportunity, and they just were never able to fully capitalize on it.
Yeah, Tyler, and that makes it really interesting for the next game. You mentioned Gavin Gannon. We talked about it a second ago off air. 4 strikeouts swinging, game-losing strikeout.
74 strikeouts on the year.
Do you make a switch? I know you want to go with that season lineup.
Well, I mean, if you remember, too, Gannon was a guy that was hitting in the 300s. His batting average is down to 256.
Yeah.
I feel like it was 300 not too long ago when we were there at Stellar Field broadcasting these games. It's going to be a big decision for Kyle Halleck. Do you switch up the lineup? There wasn't much going on in the middle of that order for a lot of that game. Do you inject some of that freshman youth that we saw a lot of this back half of the season, or do you stick with the veteran lineup? There's a lot that we'll find out in about 30 minutes' time. So we will take a short break. Be back on air, I want to say about 30 to 45 minutes. Easiest way is to look at our Twitter X account, BG_FMSN. We'll have updates of exactly when we will be going on air for that and where to catch it. But until then, before we go off air, I do want to thank our board operators. I do not want to miss that. First off to Holden Rock. Holden board operated the first 2 innings of our game. He was on standby all day yesterday. And stayed through to today to board up those first 2 innings. Unfortunately, was not able to continue due to other work commitments. but want to give a huge thank you to Holden Ruck for all of his time that he spent to be able to give us a chance here in Avon, whenever it was, whether it was up to midnight, to be able to broadcast this game. And also want to thank Nathan Burkett, who stepped up to board operate this game, because Holden could not do it without both of you guys. Guys did a tremendous job as always, so huge shout out to you guys. But Chaz and I will be back on air in about 30 minutes time for the second game, for the second Bowling Green game of this MAC tournament. They'll face off against Eastern Michigan. Bowling Green will once again be the home team. They will be the higher seed, so stay tuned for that. But Bowling Green loses the first game of their MAC tournament, 14-12 to Toledo. We'll be back on air in about 30 minutes. Tyler Camlett signing off. You're listening to BGSU Baseball on Falcon Radio. This broadcast has been a Falcon Media Sports Network production. For more BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN, BG Falcon Media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and head over to BGFalconMedia.com.